This broadcast is brought to you by Logitech G, Motorsport Australia, Play Seat, The Gamesman, OG Gear, SimSpeed TV, Speed Cafe, and the Australian Sim Racing Group.
You've always felt it, that spark, that pull. Watching the greats carve through history. Every turn, risk, reward. Now you don't just watch, you step inside. You take the wheel. Together, we're breaking barriers between sim and sport. Setting a new standard for performance. So with the power in your palms, the roar in your ears, and the position of a pro, let's turn dream to drive and play to podium. Our legacy, now yours. Welcome to the grid.
This broadcast is...
Hi, my name's Courtney Prince and last year I competed in Porsche Carrera Cup with BWT. Today I've been on the Sims with the OG race gear. I love the new gloves, they're really breathable and awesome so you don't get sweaty hands using your normal race gloves on the Sim. The socks are also really good, you don't get sore feet on the Sim. I also think in training they'll be really handy as well.
We are gaming fanatics. Our goal has never been to just play games. We think it's much better to feel like you're actually in the game. This feeling is what drives us as we create world-class gaming chairs. Our one aim, give you a brand new gaming experience. Help you move in perfect sync with everything on screen. Make sure you're having a ton of fun. It took us decades to achieve this, and we're still not satisfied. Every day, we wake up to get better. We'll never stop designing the very best to help you be your best. When it's all said and done, our job's only done if you're in full flow and focused on your victory. May you win, and win big.
2025 has been a roller coaster. New hardware, new battles, new styles of racing, new marbles, and now new Adelaide. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to bring you to the grand finale of the Logitech G V8 Pro Invitational. This is it. This is all we've got left for the season. And this round was flagged very, very early on for trying to make it Adelaide if we could. Christmas came a couple weeks early, and here we are, the streets of Adelaide. The grand final played out to a whole host of drama here just a couple weeks ago. The good news is, though, Sandman, there's no one that can steal the championship in the final results of this one. Could you imagine if it happened both in the real world and here as well? There'd be absolute calamity down in pit lane.
Yes, good evening, mate. Good evening, everyone, wherever you're watching around Australia or around the world. The streets of Adelaide, it's finally here. I don't think you have to ask my opinion about the point structure. I thought there was going to be drama coming into it. That's why NASCAR got rid of it. And boy, oh boy, it didn't disappoint, did it? But yeah, tonight's all about just good, hard racing and see who can be the first one to win around the streets of Adelaide. How exciting.
That is going to be an interesting one. How cool is it just getting the shots from in and around the circuit? We'll get an overhead shot of the final corner as well as we go to the championship standings. There is no battle for the title. The margin coming into this one, over 400 points. And there's only 200 on offer for a race win. At the moment, though, Zach Rattray White has managed to edge ahead of Josh Anderson. There's a battle on for second place in the championship. 13 points separates those guys. 17 points back to Damon Woods. I'll tell you what, Rattray White would love the opportunity to outscore his teammate, although Damon will sit there and go, you know what, I'm not a supercars fanatic. Hey, I was quicker than you in a GT3, and that's all that matters. That's where I center my attention. Brady Myers a little bit further back as well. He's not necessarily had an all-star season, so for him to be fifth in the points, he'll be over the moon with that one. Gilliam had a couple of rounds off, still sits sixth by a single point over Griffin Gardner as well. Maloney from Rosella all the way back to Madison down inside of the top 10. Again, another driver. There's actually quite a number of them that have missed rounds and races this season with other commitments for Madison. It was birth of his child and switching of focuses. But as we switch our focus, this is a critical one. Watch tonight, Adam Briggs. He has to finish tonight. If he does, it makes the whole championship picture change. We'll talk a little bit more about Ian Ford, but you can effectively put a line through him for next year, and we will tell you why in a few moments. Rick Kuznetsov and Dylan Pereira, the next two drivers that we've got to watch. And I tell you, it's 102 points from Rick Kuznetsov, and we haven't actually seen him show up, unfortunately, to this point tonight. Don't necessarily know if he'll be here to finish things off, and Dylan Pereira is the other one. That's the battle for the bubble. And then there's another thing to sort of talk about is a couple of drivers that have already made their intentions clear with what they're up to next year. Lachlan Capel's on the move in terms of teams. Bo Albin announced today that he's on the move in terms of teams as well. I can tell you there's a few more drivers within the Evolution Racing team that I've heard whispers of. I've had nothing confirmed. But the other one is retirements. Tonight is going to be the grand finale for a couple of drivers in their main game drives for this season. Ian Ford has been a staple of the Evolution Racing team and the sim racing world inside of V8 Supercars for a while now. He will make his final championship start as a main game driver on board the Logitech V8 Pro Supercars series this year. And Sean McNamara will be joining him. Although Sean McNamara might be known as 21 forever to a whole bunch of people, unfortunately, time's getting away from Sean, and he's going to take a few steps backward and be a lot more supportive in the background. So to those two drivers tonight, it's an opportunity to thank them for their speed, their input. Ian's had a number of results as a Sean. Sean's a big part of the series and keeping things running behind the series as well. I think it's a great opportunity for us to say farewell to two megastar talents.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always difficult, isn't it? You know, the time always ticks and, you know, priorities change in life, and sometimes, you know, you reevaluate, and, you know, sometimes stepping away from the sim rig doesn't always mean that it's a full stop. You never know. Might see him back one day, but yeah, it's good that those guys have just taken that little break, and yeah, certainly interesting. And what a way to have a grand finale isn't it, at Adelaide? Not a bad way to sign off, to be honest.
Yeah, first time at the circuit, last time for you in the series. The Adelaide Street Circuit, everybody knows where this one is, and, well, it's all the way down here in South Australia. Two circuits now added to South Australia's repertoire out at Tailem Bend, over 90 minutes or so to the east. But to now, we circle in right into the heartlands of the city of Adelaide itself and right into the parklands of the city of Adelaide. It came to us in its first iteration for Formula One racing all the way back in 1985. Then the racetrack was saved in 1999. There was a big debate about whether or not they should score points for both of the races. It was 500 kilometres held across the Saturday and the Sunday. All of the drivers in force majeure lined up and said we should be scoring points on both days, and so they changed it. 2 miles in length. How's that for a nice, neat number? 3.219 kilometres in terms of lengths. It's only just a little bit longer than Sandown, by the way, but the lap time's about 15 seconds longer. How's that for the way that we go about things as well? I was curious whether or not we go for group qualifying. We don't. Clockwise direction, and the big one, Sandman, is fighting over those curves in turns 1, 2, and 3. I think the sim racing world this week is getting up to speed on this track. Found that chaos can bite over those curves.
You're not wrong, and it can bite hard too. Just the limited the practice and the on-track action that I've seen already so far. Obviously, attacking those curbs, you get rewarded with speed, but you get it wrong, and you can definitely tear your night up and destroy a race car, within seconds. So, but that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? That's one of the things we love about Adelaide is those aggressive chicanes at the start. It's really signature, and so is this corner that you can see on screen, turn 8. It's almost just as we're saying that, there's a car right up against the wall as it is. I reckon it's one of Australia's most dangerous corners, and it's really chewed up and spat out some race cars over the time.
Oh, there goes 2 more ERT cars fighting each other as they come through. Using the track limits, actually got an opportunity to see some onboard footage from Super 2 on the Saturday night of our Bathurst weekend, by the way. There was a few boys in there that were showing me and teaching me and talking to little bits and pieces, of course, on the older hardware back on Gen 2 cars out of the Super 2 category. And I tell you what, onboard shots, oh my word, I was cringing and I couldn't watch from the onboard cameras they had available from some of the GoPros they attach on board those things. Out of the final corner, and this is the big thing, is passing opportunities here tonight are going to be a little bit tricky to come by. At the moment, I can tell you the circuit is actually a rather mild 31 degrees Celsius, and the reason for that is out there in the sim at the moment, it's 8:30 a.m. in the sim time, but this race is actually scheduled to go right throughout the heat of the day. I've seen temperatures pushing towards 60 degrees Celsius track temp. Sam, you got a lot more experience behind a V8 supercar. What does that do to a set of rear tyres?
Let you know that you probably won't have the best relationship after a few laps. So, makes me glad that I'm actually in the commentary box, because that's you talk about heat with these tyres, that starts to take away grip and traction, and obviously that speed as well. So it's not ideal, but it's the same for everyone else. So they're going to have to be able to look after these tyres if they want to use them right to the end. So it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a nice little interesting curveball. I hope they're ready for it.
Here it comes. We've waited a long time to go racing from Adelaide, but before we get there, we've got to decide tonight's starting grid. Like we said, a couple guys who are about to make their very last start from the streets of Adelaide. Qualifying will be coming towards us. I haven't seen any notes that it's going to be a group qualifying. I believe it is going to be one all-in session coming our way as well, which I think that actually throws up another curveball, Sandman, is the problem is trying to get a lap in. Look, honestly, if you're not at the front end of the train, I'm letting everyone go, and I'm probably sitting myself half a lap back.
Yeah, it's from what I've seen, it's obviously it's tricky enough as it is, and then you throw out sort of 30 or 40 of your best friends out there as well. You're all trying to vie for a bit of real estate and try and get that little bit of clear air. So I don't doubt there'll be a few people tripping over each other. And of course, we see in the real world action coming into the last corner, everyone's sort of checking up and trying to wait and get some clear air. And we're worried about, obviously, the fast cars that catch the train around to the guys that are about to start their lap. So that's where it can be interesting, and I'm just hoping that no one gets caught out with that.
Here we go, ladies and gents. That is the streets of Adelaide. They actually have gone through and modelled a fair bit of it for your viewing pleasure. And the high-rise apartments that get a great look and a look behind the scenes. How's that for a few of the intersections that are in and around the racetrack? You get quite a good picture of things, all things considered. And then you have a look all the way over here. And this is where the racetrack kicks off in towards the Adelaide Parklands as well. Picturesque. It's really, really nice and pretty. Go for a wander through the Parklands and you can find a few more bits and pieces of the racetrack. If you're out the back, you can make yourself avail of the hospitality suites. Go down and get a nice burger out the back right before you you watch some curbs and cars mix up and over the bundles. How about that tyre bundle down at turn 1? That thing is, I reckon we're going to see more than one car make an impact is probably the best way to talk about that one.
Yeah, I state throughout the year the last job I want to do is a race official or anything, or a steward or anything. I don't think I want to be a tyre bundle. I don't want to be that tyre bundle, because the amount of carnage that we see with that one on the streets of Adelaide in the real world, I tell you what, the problem is in our series, that tyre bundle doesn't move. So if you clip it in the real world, you can get away with it. But if you clip it too hard in our world, it turns out to be quite the disaster.
Here we go. First time in anger from the streets of Adelaide as they roar off of pit lane. Is there anyone that's thinking about sitting back and being a little bit more cautious when they roll out of pit lane? By the way, qualifying in order right in the middle of the day, 12:20 p.m. in the sim at the moment. Let's have a little bit of a look at the change in those weather conditions. It was a nice, mild 31 degrees Celsius track temperature. That's now become the air temperature. 58 degrees Celsius track temp means the tyres are probably going to be burned halfway through the lap. 11 kilometres an hour from the east as well in terms of the weather. And that means that that is going to be a headwind down the back straight away. And already, by the way, have a look at some of the games that are being played in the middle of the pack as everyone's trying to pick their way through. Just out the back of that shot was the pack making their way down into turn 8. And they went 2 by 2 down there trying to keep tyres nice and cool. Yeah, no one's tried to get away from each other. That's Wayne Burke, I think, in the 89. And there's somebody back there with him. They're going to catch the back end of the pack before they actually go green. It was Wayne Burke and Chris Ireland, and they've already caught a couple cars. So they're not even going to get a clean lap. So the only driver that's going to get a clean run at things is going to be Damon Woods. He's first out, and that's going to work in his favour, I believe.
Yes, he takes the start-finish line there. Nice wide entry, and first one through the chicanes. Does it nice and clean. Car looks good. I don't know if it's ideal clipping that curb on the inside. I've been debating all week. Do you clip that? Do you leave it so the car stays settled? It's one of those unknowns for the moment. I think some of the fast guys will be able to prove it to me, though. Easy to clip the curb on the inside through there. And, of course, here you can get away with it too. And, of course, the next corner, and this is where you get your run into our famous turn number 8 up on the curb. Car looks good. And like you said, he's got that beautiful clear air.
That track map, have a look at them. Can we go to the last corner if we possibly can? Because they are banking up at that last corner. I can see there is a whole bunch of cars crawling into the final corner. Wayne Burke is currently doing about 40 kilometres an hour. By the way, that's pit lane speed limit here tonight on the way to the last corner. He's the second last car in queue. There's Jake Blackhall behind him. They're only about 10 seconds ahead of Damon Woods, who's about to come around and finish his first flying lap. Adam Briggs, we'll be talking about him throughout the duration tonight because he's the driver that's on the inside of the bubble. Will he earn automatic qualification back for season 2026? He needs to survive tonight. The concrete canyon. What's it going to chew up? What's it going to spit out? Damon Woods to the line. The fact he continues on with the lap means it's going to be a valid one. 21.573 to start. And in the searing heat of the middle of the day in Adelaide, that is probably a reasonable banker.
Yeah, I think we saw in earlier practice, obviously the times or the conditions were a little bit cooler. We were into the low 20s, so there's still a little bit of time to find. But like you said, that track temperature is going to mess with a few people, and that time's going to move. You can see Gilliam now. He's gone straight to the top of the leaderboard with a 21.4, so only pipping it by a tenth.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where Phil Cell shook out and all of that one, of course, as we talk about a champion-elect at the moment. Championship decided. He's actually on his way out of the last corner at the moment. Madison down, 21.646, right there and in the ballpark. So it's a 21.4 from Gillian to start. What is Phil Cell going to put together? 5.64. So he's made a mistake somewhere throughout the lap. Dylan Pereira's on the outside of the bubble at the moment. One of the drivers trying to apply pressure on his way in. There was a moment at the tip-in point of that final corner, and look how little compliance he's got from the rear end of the race car as he tried to put traction to the floor. 4 minutes through the qualifying session, and we are already firing through this one as quickly as possible. Half the field's already done their laps at least. Final couple of drivers are feeding in. Here is a moment early on. Brady Baldwin comes through, but keep your eyes in the background. Jake Maloney, bang! Oh, rips the left front tyre off.
Yep, I said these tyres, they're not forgiving in the sim world. Unfortunately, he's got massive damage, so he has to fire back to the lane and get that fixed. Thankfully, he can use a fast repair, but you do that in the race, and it's night over.
Yeah, that's the first one to fall afoul of the curbing and the chicane through the complex. A couple of drivers actually with penalties. I believe those will be speeding on the way in. Let's follow with Hobbo actually here, because this will give us a good opportunity to take a look at the pit lane entry and how aggressively some of these drivers are going to try and fire in. No, Hobbo's actually on a fast lap. He must have aborted his first one. Have a look at the rear end, trying to get away from him, entering the final corner as well. And so he will fire off into the line, and have a look at the run that he takes to the line as well. Stays all the way to driver's left on the way into the line, and there was a car exiting pit lane. Was Griffin Gardner on the way through. So again, minute and 20-second lap time, 70 seconds. There is more than 35 cars here tonight. You are encountering at least a car every 2 seconds.
Yeah, and we just saw that before, that pit exit. I've just noticed in testing myself, if you don't have your wits about you, you can really make it difficult if someone's coming on along starting their lap and you come out of pit lane, you come right out on the racing line. So I'm hoping that a lot of these guys are very mindful, and you can see the damage as he's coming back to the lane now. He's had massive contact. So we're going to go through our replays. Almost did a coulthard. Almost did a coulthard and nailed the wall as he came into the entry.
By the way, I'm going to run through the list of drivers who did not set a lap time on that first attempt. Ethan Griggolt, Matthew Bowler, Lachlan Capel, Dylan O'Shea, Chris Island, who we just saw with all the damage on the front end of his car, Hayden Veld, Adam Briggs, Glenn Postlethwaite, Jacob O'Reilly, Sean McNamara. How many drivers is that have failed to set a time? This is challenging everyone. Turn 3. Remember Aaron Cameron's moment? He caught too much curb on the inside. I thought for sure he was going to back it into the wall and rip the rear end off it. No, it's going to be the front end.
I just touched on that before. I said I wasn't quite sure if it's a great idea if you grab too much curb on that corner. Obviously, he found out the hard way, and it absolutely spat him hard right. So thankfully, he's been able to make it back to pit lane. But again, this track is showing you just how treacherous it can be, and you're not going to have these fast repairs in the race. Once the race goes green, that's going to be night over if you have those sort of contacts.
Mate, how's this? Like, normally, when we look at the qualifying order and the guys that are out there and doing laps, if we can get that track map back up, there are cars everywhere, and I mean it, everywhere. That is so uncommon in our qualifying game.
Yeah, well, like you said, there was already a number of drivers that just didn't even get a banker down. And we always talk about how important it is to get your banker, get your flying lap down, just so you can take that stress away. And there was already people that missed out on that. So there's a few drivers that are out of rhythm as far as what everyone else is doing. So there's guys on fast laps, guys on slow laps. So it's going to be very, very messy out there.
Yeah, and currently the wind is coming from the east-southeast. What does that mean? It's just a hair's width to the southern side of east at the moment, which is it's nearly pointing directly off of the run onto the back straights. Nearly as you come off of turn 7 and point towards turn 8, it's nearly a headwind there. Slightly drivers right to left as they run down the back straightaway. Damon Woods is going to go ahead and improve, which says to me they're looking to try and lay some rubber down. The circuit might not have peak grip available at the moment. Gilliam's only 19 thousandths of a second faster. Dylan Rudd's going to find an improvement. He was down towards the 17 or so, late teens, as he finds an improvement. Capel found an improvement. Immediately, more drivers find an improvement. Gilliam to the last corner. He's done some testing in Gen 2 hardware, actually, this week. Got an opportunity to get behind the wheel or something as he prepares for a run at the Bathurst 6 Hour next year. Does he improve on his lap? Yes, he does, by about 15,000 of a second. It was a bit more than that. In fact, we got a dead heat for pole.
And now Jared Philstill's coming out of that last corner. Is he going to upset these boys as they battle it out? So he crosses the line from 4th.
Yeah.
Doesn't. Yep, there he goes, straight to P1.
Got it by a shoe-in. Nearly 3/4 of a tenth of a second for Josh Anderson. What's he able to resurrect in terms of lap time? He jumps up the standing. He'll slot into P6 right now, ahead of Madison Down. Rattray White will be looking to improve after his first flying lap. By the way, we're not even halfway through qualifying yet. These guys are going to get at least 2 more runs. Rattray White will come through to start a lap, I believe, by looking at that one, as will Jacob O'Reilly. So we're expecting those guys to finish a flyer there, but they're starting. And that's the mixed up nature. Look at Dylan Rudd late on the anchors trying to get the car to turn into pit lane. Someone's going to clout that cone on the pit lane entry. If you do, that's a penalty for an unsafe pit lane entry, by the way.
Have a look at the margin just for the top 4. Hey,
Yeah.
if you could buy a tenth of a second, they'd be handing cash over straight away.
Luke Rosella's finally putting qualifying together. He's had a lot of issues with qualifying this year. He's finally starting to put it together, and talking to him prior to Bathurst as well. He said it took him a fair while, but now that he's got the data, he's starting to make leaps and bounds. And Gilliam said exactly the same thing. Now I've got good data to work with. Just keep working on my driving style, keep working on the nature. Now we understand the car. It was all about me and little changes I needed to make. Dylan O'Shea hasn't had a great 2025. The new generation of V8 supercars not suiting. Look at the bouncy nature of the curbing and the car just not wanting to settle. And again, just sliding around in greasy conditions.
Yeah, and the one thing, the thing that I found most notable about this racetrack when I started doing laps this week was the crown in the racetrack. And it's probably more, I've never noticed it more at a racetrack than I have here. So the crown is so noticeable, especially up through when you go through the staircase. Dylan now here on the brakes. He's got the corner auto himself, gets it turned in, gets the apex there. But I couldn't believe, obviously, how narrow it was. But the crown in the racetrack, that's the thing that really, really surprised me.
I was listening into a whole bunch of car setup work this week, and the thing I kept hearing talked about was trade-offs. If you're going to have a car that's good through turn 8, it's going to burn its rear tyres off too quickly, so you nearly kind of have the car that's a little bit understeered. Dylan O'Shea hasn't got a lap on the board, and this is going to be another one that he doesn't have on the board. He's only going to have one good shot at a flying lap because that happened after the final corner, which means that he did all of the lap bar the last little bit, which means he didn't get to dive in a pit lane and abort for Dylan Rudd. Oh my word, look at how quickly that tyre bundle fires past from the sill cam.
How good is that? You couldn't have teed that up any better. What a position there. That was unreal.
You know what? I found our camera for the night. We're just not, our production guy behind the scenes, he's not going to do anything tonight. He's just going to change the sill cam. He's going to go, yep, we've got Dylan Rudd. You can have one from Jared Filsell. That's it. We're going to show no other cam all night long. That's amazing.
Glad we're not paying for those cameras because I don't know how many of them would last clipping that tyre barrier throughout the race.
Let alone the nuts and bolts to keep that tyre bundle in place. Could you imagine if that was bouncing all through? Dylan Rudd, though, flows the lap together. Last race for him with the number 1 on the board. We heard Brody Kostecki tell Jared Filsell he had no choice. He's got to run car number 1 next year. So he had no choice in that matter. Filsell's a little bit superstitious in that nature. Doesn't like car number 1. Dylan Rudd will probably tell him, yeah, you can have it. Don't want it. I haven't had a great year either.
Hey, but at the end of the day, at least you get to have that number 1 on the car for 12 months, and that's bragging rights all year. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's what you all achieve. You know, you set out to win the championship, and it's a massive honour to have the number 1 on there. Oh,
Who's that?
Drama at the
was Pereira.
corner.
I think it was Dylan Pereira. I don't know who the other car was. I think they were trying to tee up a lap.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh, there we go, out of pit lane. Pit lane has done it. That's exactly what I was talking about. If you don't have your wits about you on pit exit and make sure you check your mirrors, there's going to be drama, and that's exactly what we've seen.
That'll be Q over for both those cars. Yeah, Blackhall's called it. He was the other car involved. I'm sure that's Dylan Pereira.
So it looks like he might be able to make it back. But Jake is done for qualifying. You watch this replay when we get a chance to have a look at it. It's just so dangerous, pit exit.
Pereira's done
really
as well.
Have to have your wits about you.
Jared Filsell's going to try and improve. Gilliam did
Gilliam
improve
went
on that
for
flying
yeah.
lap. Is Filsell going to be able to find some time? I don't think he necessarily might have been on a flyer. He might have just finished one. Oh, sorry, about to start one. Yeah, this is the queue up at that final corner, trying to wait for a hole in traffic. And he waited for the hole, and then he got an opportunity to go for it, and then there's a car just in the way.
Pit exit. Watch pit exit. So you're about to start your lap. Bang. Oh!
One car went both directions, though. So if it had gone left, he was screwed, and the lap would have been aborted because he wouldn't have been able to carry the speed through turn 1. If he went right, he would have clouded exactly what he did. Oh, there's a car around. Actually, Josh Anderson's qualifying is going to end. He's caught in a barrier at the moment. As we see Jared Filsell. If Filsell just clout the barrier, Endo's going to need a tow.
He's caught up on the fence.
Yeah. But how's he ended in there?
Well, I reckon he's got sideways. He's clipped the rear on the Repco tyre barrier, and it's nosed it, and it's spun, and I think it's hooked up on the fence. That's only a guess going by the looks of the tyre marks there. That's going to be an interesting one. So obviously, race control are going to have to. Here we go. So he turns in. I reckon he's clipped the rear with the tyres. He has spun, and the rear wing has hooked itself up on the barrier. Oh, that was bad timing of that, but there you go. And that's where he's launched. He's been locked up on that barrier. So that's qualifying over for him.
Where's he going to... The highest he's going to start's 9th place. There'll be no opportunity for him to improve upon that lap. Everyone's diving in a lane to start their final laps, but reading how to get out at the moment. Gilliam, remember, has been quick every time we've gone to a street circuit over the last couple of years. He was very, very strong at Detroit Belle Isle. And it's where championship or race wins have come for him over the last few years. So if there's anyone equipped to tackle the streets and pop up on top, Gilly's always going to be there and thereabouts. Dylan O'Shea still hasn't set a lap time in the final qualifying of the season for driver number 19. There's another car trying to jump out of the way. I think that'll be Damon Woods.
Oh, no, look,
he's locked it up. Does he manage to stay on the other car? I think he managed to get away from them.
Yeah, but his lap's ruined now, and it's like 4 minutes to go. And he's not even going to start this one proper. He's on the grass. He's doing a Chaz Mostert. So now he's going to have to putt around and have another go. Yeah, that's... Oh, mate. How are we going to go 70 laps?
There's no way. Look, you've had the safety car graphic.
Session.
The one night you don't have the Logitech G Hub ready, and by the way, no pressure on you. I completely and utterly understand the race home from work at this end of the year. But the one time you don't have the G Hub up, and I guarantee you safety cars would have made a big feature on that tonight.
I guarantee, absolutely, because, yeah, you can already see the attrition that we've seen just in this qualifying session, and these teams and drivers have to go 70 laps. So Adelaide bites and Adelaide bites hard, and I don't doubt for a second that we're going to see that safety car.
You know what? Dylan O'Shea's actually going to have enough time to get back for another fresh set of tyres and get back out there. Just. He's going to have to press on just a little bit, but he should be actually quite okay. He might get an opportunity, but the issue is he'll have one flying lap. Rattray White's gone within a 10th of pole position. Phil Sell's now 900ths of a second up, and I reckon the track is starting to clean up just a little bit. Look at the curb down at 11 on the inside. God, it looks savage when they bounce over that one.
Yeah, well, it's in Supercars' DNA, isn't it? Bouncing up over curbs and having, attacking these street circuits. It's just brilliant. We're blessed to have the Adelaide Street Circuit here, and mate, I love it in these cars. It's pure racing. It's pure badness, isn't it? Like, the aggression and the speed and everything you got to carry through these corners. The cars just look absolutely ace when they're set up, bouncing up over these curbs.
Here we go. Brady Baldwin said to me earlier today, I think this might be it for me. I'm going to be away during the qualifying series. I don't necessarily think I'll be able to make it.
Oh.
So this could be it from him as well, but he'll still be available for co-driver duties next year, and then he'll probably have a crack in 2027 at qualifying.
Yeah, with 2 minutes to go, I wonder what the old temperature's doing, because it was in the 50s. Let's see the number and see what number it's at, because it's as we see Andrew Gilliam, he's gone fastest into 21.1. 60 degrees now, the track temperature. So it's going steadily climbing.
Jared Filsell, even with the track conditions starting to go away from the drivers, not quite done yet. Sticks one more banker. That'll probably be his final flying lap of the session. There's not quite going to be enough time for him to get back. If he flies around in his outlap, there will be, but he's going to have to absolutely make a meal of it. Madison Down's going to start his final flying lap of the session. There won't be enough time for him to get 2 in, and he tags the barrier for 3. Does that cancel the qualifying lap?
Now
he's going to back it in at 4 as well. So that will be the end of Madison's session. 7th will be the best available for him. Jake Maloney as well. There's something all over the front end of that car. Looks
like it's got a Christmas theme, I think, has it?
We might be able to get a couple of up close and personal shots when we get to the starting grid. And it's Richard Hampstead's face we're hearing all over the front of it. That's Christmas themed. Richard Hampstead's face on the front barriers, of course, his co-driver for the Enduros. What a great pairing those two have made. I think Matthew Bowler's actually just requested a tow. He's had issues at the first chicane as well. And Bo Albert's another one whose qualifying session will be over. He's down at turn 6. Here we go.
Merry Christmas. Hey, he's a good-looking rooster too, isn't he? Hey, on the bonnet of that. Fantastic. The car does look like it's driven through an ice cream cake, though, but there you go. Christmas theme.
And he's not going to make an improvement on that final flying lap. And the checkered flag is going to come out. There's another car that just barely missed the pit lane entry as well. There's a whole bunch of cars that are coming into that final corner at this point in time. Pereira's diving into the pit lane. And I can tell you there's maybe going to be a little bit of a window to get in. No, you'll probably be stuck there on that curve. So Damon Woods comes to the final corner and we'll shoot out the other side. We'll see if he can improve on the final time of asking 25.561. It's gone away from him, unfortunately, for Hayden Veld. Final qualifying lap of the season, and in true Hayden Veld style, he decides, don't need these tyres, not going to be doing the racing on, boys. Lights it up for a little bit of action out of the final couple of corners. Ryan Jones is qualifying, done for the year. There's only a couple more cars that are potentially going to be on a lap. Wittes would like to very much forget the start of 2025 because it's put him so far on the back foot with 4 DNFs in a row. He was able to overcome that eventually. Kurt Stenberg through, as is Hobbo. So Jacob O'Reilly is going to be probably one of the last guys to try and set a fast lap. Look at how much he squared off the exit of that corner as well. Not trying to rotate all the car all the way through to the exit of the corner. Will he improve at the final time of asking? Don't believe he will. Wayne Burke, final corner for him. Completely different line at the final corner for him as well. 21.839. No speed improvements for him. Couple more drivers to come. Brian Borg will be amongst those. Brings it to the line. Will be a little bit of improvement on the final lap for Brian Borg. So he'll be glad he did get that extra lap in. Might be worth a couple spots. But that is it. Final qualifying session of the season. Run and done. The first time the series goes to Adelaide. And it's Jared Filsell. We've had some sort of production drama. That was curious. We were talking about, actually, we haven't had an opportunity to talk about it yet, but silly season's certainly up and amongst it. That is not the silly season we were talking about. Those are not team swaps that are definitely coming our way. But I can tell you silly season is in the midst of progress at the moment. So there will be some driver swaps.
It's screen grabs of that. It's already all over the internet. So, you heard it here first. Yeah. No, like you said, that was just a glitch on our end. So we're feverishly, there we go. That looks a little bit more familiar, doesn't it, with Jared Filsell in his Falcon colours.
I might go back and screen grab that one myself. Righto, Jared Filsell for Lobs Esports, going to make it a lockout on the front row alongside a teammate Andrew Gilliam. Not much in it for play seat pole position. Zach Rattray White will continue the speed that he's been showing all season long, being the only non-Lobs car inside of the top 4, and the only one to deny Luke Rosello, who finally manages to stick a qualifying session together. We'll see if he can make something of that. Damon Woods makes it only 2 teams inside of the top 5, with all of the Lobs and all of the Eclipse drivers inside of the top 5. Griffin Gardner will be the first driver outside there in the privateer entry off of 6. Dylan Rudd, championship winner from 2024, will forfeit that number 1 car at the end of tonight's Racing Madison Down. We'll start alongside of him in the first of the Trans-Tasman racing machines. Jake Maloney in the Christmas-themed Trans-Tasman car will be the second of those, alongside of James Scott. Could this be the final time we see Chiefs Esports colours on the grid? Well, at least for this iteration of the team, all signs point to yes. Josh Anderson is going to be the first car outside of the 10. Brady Myers will be lining up alongside of him. Remember, these two guys a couple of times got into each other all the way back at Jerez, and I believe it was Ando who ended up on the... No, it was Myers who ended up on the wrong side of that one, unfortunately. That's just the way those ones go. Both of those drivers went for a gap on that occasion. Matthew Bowler will be out of 13th spot in the 7th row of the grid. Could be his final time in ERT colours. That one's unconfirmed. That one's not locked in at this point in time. Wayne Burke's had a pretty good season. It's been good to see him back in and amongst things in the V8 supercar. He's definitely been one of the quicker drivers from Vermilion this season. Lachlan Capel, this will be the grand final time he starts for Evolution Racing Team. The team he'll be going to, Tyson Broad, will be lining up alongside of him for Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports. So that row will be all Orbit Drops Bear Motorsports next year. Jordan Ross will start alongside our teammate Brenton Hobson. Hobbo has actually made a couple of passing comments that this could be his final season as well. That unconfirmed, but he has debated it. He has thought about it for next year. And we'll see if he does return in 2026. Andre Youssef is actually the best placed Vermilion Esports car in the championship points. He is locked in for 2026 at this point in time. Dylan O'Shea, he would love a great race to finish the season on. It has been a disastrous 2025 for him. Dylan Pereira will start ahead of teammate Adam Briggs. Briggs, the last driver on the inside of the bubble tonight. What he needs to do is make it through turn 1, lap 1. After that, just keep the points on trucking, and it should be into 2026 for him. Ian Ford's final drive in the series as a main game driver from 23rd for him. 2,000ths ahead of Sebastian Vandel's SVR racing machine alongside. Hayden Veld is going to line up from 25th spot, 200ths of a second just ahead of Ryan Jones. We'll see if he'll be able to qualify back through for 2026. Sean McNamara, the other driver, parting ways with the series at the end of the season. He'll move to co-driver duties from 2026. Bo Albert's on the move of teams, and there was no details provided in that leak that we heard earlier on today. Still up in the air for the driver of the number 06. Kurt Stenberg will be the last driver inside of the top 30 cars. Jacob O'Reilly will line up alongside of him in car 222. Get outside the 30. Jack Wittis will be looking to hopefully have a fun night to finish the season. By the way, he's starting at the last corner. He has got to round that one up to get rolling. Glenn Postlethwaite will start to his inside. It's been good to see Posy back in the series as he carries the tyre power colours. Brady Baldwin and Jake Blackhall will be coming from the rear end of the field here tonight. Last couple of drivers to set their times. Brian Borg will be all the way back there as well. Ethan Grieg-Galt towed without permission from the previous race and was given a disqualification on the final lap. He has to start from the rear end of the field. Chris Ireland as well also was in the session, will not be taking the start of this race, which means our final driver to make the entry list is Damon Mulqueen, and I was also talking to Damon Mulqueen earlier on. I don't believe he will be starting in the series next year at this point in time. He just bought a house, and he was over the moon. We're actually talking a lot of housing details. But on to Gamesman Gridwalk. We're going to start with the driver that's on our play seat pole position. We're going to have a chat to him no matter what, but he is on play seat pole position. And Jared, that run down to turn number 1, there's no cars in front of you. I have a feeling if you were a few places further back in the grid, it'll be the nerves right now. But, mate, all you got to do is get a good launch, and it should be nice and comfortable through the chicane for the first time.
Yeah, easier said than done. We're on the shortest ratio here, so there's a lot of variables happening next to my teammate as well. So hopefully we can get a nice clean start and, yeah, see what happens. It's a race of attrition, this one.
Was there a little bit of discussion between the pair of you guys as well? Look, I've got the inside down to turn number 1, but whoever's got the nose ahead gets priority, I guess is probably the bigger thing, because surviving turn 1, lap 1's just got to be the big key.
Not really, no. We did a official race last night and he pushed me into the slowdown, so yeah, testing the limits, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's not really viable to go side by side through there, so yeah, I don't envy anyone in the mid pack, that's for sure.
Mate, championship elect here tonight. We're actually just talking about that one. Brody's forced you to take number 1 next year. How big is the hoodoo about that number 1 heading into next year?
I don't remember that dialogue, him forcing me to take the number 1. That number is cursed.
Mate, go hard tonight, have some fun, and enjoy that run down to turn 1.
No worries, thank you.
We're going to take a step further back down through the field, and we're chatting to the driver who's on the inside of the bubble here tonight. Sandman stands them alongside the man from Lismore. It's Adam Briggs.
Adam, mate, mid-pack here on the streets of Adelaide. Your thoughts as you look straight down the barrel headed into the centre chicanes for the first time? P22, how's the heart rate?
I'd certainly prefer, well, heart rate's great. I'd certainly prefer to be where Jared is, our champion for this year. He's on pole, if I'm not mistaken, so, or is it Gilliam? I can't remember.
No, he's on pole, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, Jared on pole. I'll certainly prefer that. He's done a great job to be champion this year, so congratulations to Jared. With regards to P20, yeah, look, I'll just go out there and collect points and finish, and it'll all play out where it plays out, and we'll just try not to put it in the fence. So.
And that probably easier said than done. It's pretty brutal around the streets of Adelaide from what we've seen just in qualifying.
Yeah, she's a bit greasy. There's lots of bumps, and there's lots of opportunities to hurt tyres and to have accidents and to miss your braking marker and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, we'll just maybe we'll drive a little bit within, and then we'll try and get some points on the board.
One more question before we let you go and get ready for this one. Has Adelaide surprised you, or has it been pretty much exactly what you thought as it got released this week?
Oh, it's pretty much exactly what it is. It's a rather pretty model that they've built. It's got a few little frame rate issues and things and that, but that's pretty much every new circuit that comes out. So, but yeah, look, it's actually fantastic. So it's good.
All right, mate, we'll let you focus. Good luck, and hopefully we talk to you at the end of the night. But go for it, mate, and all the best.
Thanks, Damon.
And Scotty, I believe you're only just in the row behind us, catching up with Ian Ford.
Ian, mate, big congratulations on making the grid for the final time in 2025. And I want to say a big thank you to everything that you've done on board this series over the last couple of years. It's a pleasure to see you out there tonight. And, mate, first and foremost, Streets of Adelaide, did you think we'd be doing this anytime soon in the sim?
Oh, no way. It was always coming soon, right? But it was like we finally got there and managed to get the car on the grid, and we'll see how turn 1 goes.
Turn 1, lap 1, it's going to be about survival. I guess the big thing for you is, well, the point score doesn't really matter, so you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive. You're going to try and go out with a big send it on lap 1?
No. It's like just finishing the race is definitely going to tick the boxes for me. So it's like as long as we get through it and get the CRT car back to the finish line, we'll be fine.
Mate, I'll give the floor to you for a little bit. Is there anyone that you want to say thank you to for all the opportunities you've been given over the last few years in sim racing?
Oh man, everyone at Evolution Racing team, it's like they've done an amazing job. It's like Brenton, Dan for supporting us for so many years. It's like we've got the car pretty well up the grid considering where we started the year, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you.
Congrats, Ian. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in the series, and I'm glad you carried that livery into the final round, brother. She looks beautiful there tonight once more.
Thank you.
30 seconds before the grand finale will kick off here from the streets of Adelaide. And I tell you what, Sam, man, firing through that chicane on lap 1 is going to be a difficult prospect. The slowdown penalty, we heard about what it's like on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brutal. But look, at the end of the day, everyone knows exactly what they've got to do. So they'll be getting through turn 1 as best as they can, give each other as much room as they can. But it's going to be a battle of the fittest, I think, over 70 laps. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Here we go, ladies and gents. We are getting set for a race start for the final time in 2025. The season where we brought the Gen 3 to iRacing. The season where Adelaide landed on the platform. And the launch, the run down at turn 1. The teammates, the Lobs Esports guys, nice and even, but a lot of room to work with. Gilliam's going to slot in behind his teammate. Big stand from Rattray White. The dive bomb down the inside of Rosella. Rosella will feed his way back in. Keep your eyes in the background. Can the field make it through on that one? I'll tell you what, they minded their P's and Q's.
Oh, they don't call it the Pro Series for nothing. Everyone got through the centre chicane for the first time. Oh, someone's gone up the estate road. Oh, the car sideways. Oh, more cars back there. I think we might have got away with it. Doesn't look like a big accident, but everyone's had to check up. I think a lot of people got away with it as far as massive damage.
Yeah, and it was actually Ian Ford. I spotted that iconic Castrol livery. In the background of that shot was Ian Ford and Adam Briggs. Those two stand out. And we just heard from them moments ago about how it's making sure that you survive in the early phases. This one down through turn 8 for the first time in racing trim. And immediately on the defensive, have a look at the seeing and soaring at the wheels. Madison down, trying to go the long way around Dylan Rudd. Not quite going to be able to get there. Now he's out and bouncing over the curve. Teammate Jake Maloney goes skating on through. Down loses a couple on lap number 1. And now it's going to be Ando will try and line him up. Have a look as they bounce up and over the curbs. No one's found the barrier that in the opening stages of this one. I cannot believe we got through lap. Are you kidding me? Mate, they are professional drivers. You're 100% right. Hats off to the boys out there tonight. The fact they survived that one, I have seen so much chaos over those curbs this week.
And it's so easy to do and really great. Everyone knows that they've got a big, big racer along in front of them. 70 laps around here is no mean feat. So they're just making sure that they just survive. They just want to get through these first few laps, get themselves into a rhythm, find out how the car feels underneath them. Obviously, the track temperature is still at about 56 degrees.
I think it might have been Wayne Burke. Someone just got rotated, and it was, yeah, it was Wayne Burke, and it was Lachlan Capel. It might have been Capel gone to the back of him, but did Capel get help as well down the back end of the field? They just sat there. They've got to wait for the whole field to go by before they can get back in there. Replay coming our way at some point in this one, but the leaders are just trying to nut and bolt down the road. What's Madison Down doing there? Was he dealing with a slowdown penalty? Did he opt too much curb? Dylan O'Shea going to have a crack at him on the run to turn 8. That would have been brave if O'Shea had a crack at him. Again, you see the Chiefs Esports cars. Was that James Scott, I think, trying to get down to the inside to try and have a crack at Tyson Broad? I believe it was. He slid back a couple spots over the start of this one, so didn't get a great launch on board the 088. But the big thing I'm noticing is how much action we've already had from this one, but also how cool is it seeing cars dip to the right off of turn 8.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a great racetrack, great part of the racetrack as well. So, yeah, what everyone needs to do now is just get themselves, settle them down, just get into a rhythm. Don't worry about who you're racing. Don't worry about that you need to make up too many spots just yet. I almost guarantee that we're going to get a safety car because we've seen some little bit of action already. As we check, oh, it's a TTR car! On through the chicane, I think he's made heavy contact. Oh, he might have gathered it up. No, the car looked straight. Was that Madison Down? He had a massive moment through the centre chicane.
I can't believe he's gotten away with that one. The replay queue is getting longer and longer and longer. This is the restart, or at least the initial launch, sorry, from Matthew Bowler and his on board. You can see Burke got a better drive, and Burke's just trying to disincentivize him, just cover it off. But if you've got any overlap on the way, well, they were looking 3 wide. Myers had to squeeze him off, and again, you're trying to attack and cover at the same time on lap 1.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Everyone sort of gave each other a little bit of room. He's gone to the outside, almost 3 wide. He's just had to go right up the escape rope. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it turned in there. Oh, and then you can see the drama. Oh, all happening in front of him, and he dodged it.
Right place, right time. Phil Sell's got the lead. Rattray White's actually managed to get through on Andrew Gilliam. I wonder whether or not Gilliam might have picked up a slowdown penalty through the chicane to let that one happen. It's difficult to get overtakes done around here, I tell you. Is the big note that I made earlier on in the evening, just watching a few bits and pieces throughout the week. Everyone on the sim has been out and partaking in this. It's like a fine wine grown in Southern Australia. It just grows in you and grows in you. Then you get a bit scared and you back it off a little bit, and then you go, hang on, let's attack this a bit more.
It's a replay heading up into the staircase. Oh, I just got in there a little bit too hard. Unfortunately, locked a brake and then made contact. And this is the worst bit. You're just sitting there watching the entire field go past because you know you can't pluck a gear and just get into it because you're going to cause more drama. So unfortunately, they just have to sit there and take it.
Down through turn 8 once more. 4 laps on this one of the 70 available to us tonight. Compulsory pit stop rule as normal in effect. Fuel window, about 33 laps. The problem, rear tyres in the heat will not get that far. You've really got to look after them.
Here we go. This is down. This is what I saw. Oh, my God, he did make contact. So I knew he had a massive moment, but I didn't see the contact. But man, so where is he? He's still circulating, but unfortunately he did make contact. So the most important thing is the left front isn't hanging off it.
No, the steering wheel looks relatively straight. Yeah, you know what? It's still bolt straight. He might have just barely gotten away with that one.
Dodge.
That is a bit of luck. Don't buy him a Powerball ticket this week, Madison Down. Luck's all been used up, my friend.
Yeah, Lady Luck has left the building.
Stenny's, this will be an interesting shot when we get back around. We might have to leave this up for the entirety of lap. We'll stay for turn 8. Get a ride on board. No real shifting through this part of the racetrack as well. Look at them pluck the curb, bounce up and over it. Quite compliant there at turn 6 too, and then turn 7. Just nice little chunk of it. Not a huge deal of curb. They use the curbs very differently at every single one of those corners. Do you notice that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to extract. Here we go into turn 8. Let's see. Off the throttle. Oh, laid into it. Almost up against it, but he didn't hit.
So at the moment. Settling into a little bit of a rhythm. I think that's Ryan Jones just ahead of him as well. And we're trying to get head down for. Here's the first of the slow-mo shots down at turn 8. Jared Filsell activating the rear tyres. And how about Zach Rattray? He's not quite as wide when he gets down there. But then again, if you're going to be the best in the business, you got to leave no millimetre unturned.
It's still early days too, so they're just getting their feeler gauges out for the moment and just seeing how far they can take it. But Madison Down, is he thinking about a move up the inside? Yes, he is. So thankfully, we saw that replay just not long ago. He's got away with that damage, and now it's all about eyes forward because he's given himself. Well, he's got himself some work to do because he was with his TTR teammates there, and now he's fallen back. But I think you'd just be grateful that he's actually still circulating because that was a decent old hit to the wall.
Yeah, big old whack. Phil Sell's already starting to eat that margin out just a little bit. Probably one of the bigger factors we've seen out of these guys is their ability to look after the tyres and long run pace at the moment. How about Zach Rattray White? 2025 is the year for him. He made a big statement on the national scene and also in Formula 4 on the international scene. And as soon as we start talking niceties about him, how about a pinch of the front brakes on the way into the final corner? So they're up against it, struggling, these guys, and challenging for every little bit that's available to them at every single corner. And you better believe we got a camera that's pointed at that tyre bundle on the run to turn 1.
How great is it? I'm almost pinching myself that we've got out the Adelaide Street Circuit here in iRacing now. It's just, we're so blessed that we're able to get more and more Australian circuits. Of course, we saw the bend that was added. Oh, just a little bit wide there. Just made a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Nothing too serious, but we've been blessed, haven't we? You know, we had the bend and now we've got Adelaide and, you know, we've still got the likes of Pukekohe to come as well, which is so exciting. So, mate, to have some more Aussie content for us for the V8 Pro Series and Logitech, it's just absolutely exciting. And, mate, this season isn't even finished and I already can't wait for next season.
How's the width of those guys? Even looking back from that shot down at turn 9, all the way up at turn 8. Some life's come out of the tyres by lap 7. We are about 0.8 of a second slower in terms of lap speed from the start of the race. That's how much we've already taken out of the tyres, and it's a short lap, let alone how much more they're taking in terms of lap speed. Madison Downs having another issue we're hearing down at turn 9. Yeah, he did actually pass Pereira just ahead of him. I believe at the start of it, was either start of this lap or start of the previous lap. So he's already lost that spot again. So definitely some sort of drama for car 77.
Here we go. So he's he's locked a tyre. He's just pinched a brake and he's just had to go straight ahead. Oh, and he's just lost a couple of spots. It's a tough part to join there because you've got that curb on the outside and it really upsets the race car. So it's kind of something you can use in your favour if you are making a move up the inside. If you just run old mate just that little bit wide up on that curb, when they're trying to get the power down, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to come out there a winner. So look at this beautiful slow-mo into the centre chicanes.
It's not as close as they were during qualifying, I will say.
Hold on. Yeah, I was going to say. You got Yusuf. Oh, Yusuf's now gotten a little bit closer.
Just
Here we
a little bit
go.
more.
Vandel. It's like they're going off what did everyone else do, and I'll go that little bit closer. Oh, Bo Albert. Here's Briggsy. Oh, Briggsy's getting cheeky there. Jones, how's Stenny going? Oh, Stenny. Stenny might have been the closest of the lot. And the tricky bit is with Stenny, he was tucked up behind a car too. So obviously straight away you got your vision impaired when you've got a car in front of you. But man, how good is that?
Couple penalties coming through from race control as well. Brady Baldwin's picked up 10 seconds for turn 4 on lap 1, so he might have been the trigger moment for everything that was going on. Here's at full speed, by the way, not the slow-mo shot. Look at them fire through the first chicane at speed. And then Ian Ford, 5-second time penalty for contact with Briggs. Also from lap 1, turn 4. Oh, there is contact.
A little bit of contact there.
That wasn't the
Got away
LT
with
car.
it. Got away with it though. So you don't want to be a tyre bundle or a Hino wrap that's wrapped around that bundle because, yeah, it would be the scariest place on the racetrack.
The biggest problem we're going to have is if a car goes into that 1-2 chicane and finds it, and there's a train of cars coming in behind at speed, it's going to be a problem. That car is going to bounce back out into the racetrack. You need to be aware of that very, very early. Something for Vandel. Slow down penalty.
Maybe. Yeah. That's brutal. I've been doing some practice leading up to tonight's broadcast, and that slowdown, it really hurts you too, because you don't want to give up too much time, and when you're in a battle, it really bites you. So it's that fine line of being aggressively fast through that chicane, but doing it as much where you don't, because it's about a second slowdown. So it's quite brutal.
So just watched Andrew Gilliam's current lap through the first chicane. Got 165 kilometres an hour at the turn-in point for the first chicane, 145 kilometres an hour when he gets to the bundle. That's how fast they are firing over those curbs right there. Now Vandel, after losing a little bit of time with the penalty, is trying to track back down Bo Albert. Albert didn't get qualifying together all that well. And now he's on the recovery effort, 28th to 19th at the moment, 9 spots gained. And the questions come, but Bo actually has a job, or did have a job, sorry, as he resigned just of recent note as part of the iRacing broadcast team when he's available for that one. And 2025 is the last year he'll be participating in that for the foreseeable future. Might step back into that role in the future, but for now, he's been focusing on the driving, and there's news to come with what's coming his way. There was very, very under wraps. But the one thing that we know is that this will be his final drive in Evolution Racing Team colours. Shout out to Bo for that one. Same for Lachlan Capel. Last time behind the wheel of the Logitech car for both of those drivers. Yeah, well, Tyson Broad's not doing too bad as well. At a 12th spot, this will be a season high for him.
Yeah, still in with the sniff right there for a top 10 at the moment, and it's very early days. We've just gone into started lap 11 of 70, so it's always good when you're sort of there or thereabouts, and you know the people that you obviously want to be battling with, when you can see them and you're just staying in touch with them, that's always a plus. And then of course the biggest plus too is when you look in your mirror and the car's starting to get a little bit smaller in your mirror, so that's always a win. As we look back here on this battle, and here's Hobbo. Just listen to his throttle through there. Good on the power, nice and tidy. He doesn't have to worry about someone trying to make a move up the inside of turn 8. And of course, there's that gentleman's agreement into turn 8. If you are battling, it's always the car that's in front that gets right away, because that's the last place you want to be going through. Going side by side into turn 8, it's almost a recipe for disaster.
For Hobbo at the moment, a little bit of clean air out the front. Looking backwards, he's going to be under pressure. Nearly got the tyre barrier as well. Update for the contact from Lachlan Capel to Wayne Burke. Black flag for Lachlan Capel will be a drive-through penalty for car number 18. After being dropped to the rear end of the field, waiting for the field to pass on by. It's going to be a further penalty for him. And a long, long night to recover. We are now beyond the window to make your first stop and make it home in terms of fuel mileage. But the problem will be everyone will be wanting to get at least 20 laps on the board to just help the tyres at the back end of that race. And a lot of people were talking about, I really want to go as far into this race on that first end as I possibly can. They won't take a big gulp of fuel at the first pit stop, and they'll try and keep the cars light, Sam, man. Yeah, interesting. I wonder, obviously... a lot of these teams and drivers have, the perfect scenario. They'll have that written down on a piece of paper, having it playing in the back of their mind what they'll do. But you never know when a safety car might come out and that might turn things on its head. Some people might change their strategy, but yeah, it's always interesting. And I'm actually surprised we haven't seen a safety car in the first opening few laps. So for a brand new circuit, and we saw how brutal it was in qualifying, I think people realise that, you obviously do need to play this a little bit smarter, and everyone does when it comes to the race. But for a brand new circuit and for everyone,
for everyone attacking. Oh, you see someone's into the lane straight away. Is that
Madison down.
Yeah. So he's going to be the first one to go into the lane and roll the dice. But yeah, for a brand new racetrack, we haven't seen that massive lot of carnage and an early safety car, which is a real credit to all these drivers.
So Madison will be looking for a little bit of that undercut, go and buy himself some track position. Just been keeping half an eye on lap times from a few people of late. Drifted out into the 1 minute 23's fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 29.9 for Jared Filsell. So he's lost about 1.2 seconds from his peak lap speed, but I think they are all managing tyres at this point in time. Down's going to take a 16-second stop. And they're all, again, using as much of the real estate as they possibly can. How about that for, again, leaving just about nothing on the table? Zella got it.
He actually nailed it, didn't he? Yeah, we were going to say an extra layer of vinyl wrap and some of them might have been in trouble, but he actually made contact with it, but it was flush. Oh, very close into the braking zone there. And turn 8 hasn't bitten as hard as I expected in the early laps too, which is good. It's great for these drivers. They know that they've still got a big battle in front of them. And you don't want to see carnage, but, you kind of expect that. We know how tough turn 8 is in the real world. And like we said, a lot of these drivers don't have massive amounts of experience. Everyone's on a very level playing field for this track because it's only just been recently released. So that makes it very interesting for tonight's race.
That it does. Hearing another driver's also made contact with the barrier down at turn 8 as well. So again, everyone using track limits. Wait, did he shave that? I think he did. I think Jared Filsell has just shaved a few millimeters off of it. Oh my God, they are carrying serious speed. There's Maloney and Endo. Endo's starting to get quite close. Have a look at the groups of cars coming through. Tyson Broad might be on for a crack and an overtake down at turn 9. He was right up and underneath the rear wing of James Scott. There's a couple of cars taking... That was the Synergy cars, not using all the real estate down there.
Next year we need Schick as a razor sponsor there through. That could be a close shave, I tell you. The Schick close shave cam. So everyone in the marketing department, get that happening now because, oh my goodness, everyone's doing it.
There's a reason that there is a lot of room between where you can get down towards turn 8, and the reason for that is that wall moves significantly in the real world when it's made contact with. Have a look at the three of them firing through the first chicane. I reckon Tyson Broad is actually a little bit quicker than the two guys ahead of him at the moment. He just can't get it done. Although that could also be James Scott, touch quicker than Brady Myers. And Myers is starting to really come under pressure.
Yeah, it looks like that the back of that thing is really sideways. So he's struggling with grip. Bang. Oh, there's contact. So yeah, I think he's having a hard time at the moment just trying to look after those rears, and that's really putting him in a position where he's getting that little bit of pressure from behind now. So look, he'll be getting that feedback now from Madison. We know Madison had that early pit stop, so does he want to roll the dice and maybe come in for some rubber? As I say that, Madison Down's just gone fastest of the race with a 121.8. So the new tyres and the clean air, that's certainly doing him a world of good at the moment.
The big problem for Madison Down, though, is they're about to catch Hayden Velds. There is a little bit of traffic there and thereabouts. So for him, he is right in and amongst back end of things. He just took 3 seconds of the next car ahead of him. Actually, just having a look, it's Hayden Veld, and Veld's actually got a fair bit of damage on the front end of that race car. Yeah, Hayden Veld's actually been making a fair bit of contact. Look at the front end of the Mustang. He might have clouded the tyre barriers a few times at turn 1.
Yeah, no split up. He is going to be in a world of hurt with that one. So obviously he's losing that little bit of downforce at the front, but in a straight line she'll be a little bit slow as well. So not ideal, but hopefully he can get in the lane soon and fix some of those repairs up.
Something happened to Jared Filsell in the last lap. He was actually about 0.7 of a second slower than everyone around him. So I think there might have been a slowdown penalty or something for Jared Filsell. That margin had actually grown quite aggressively, and now it's fallen back. So hearing from Hayden Veld that unfortunately for him has bad as the car looks, it is actually all the way back from lap 1, and there might have been something that happened off camera, because I was thinking we didn't quite see what happened to the ERT car.
Dodges a bullet there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, he got nosed into the barrier. And 40 got involved in that as well, so we didn't catch that earlier. Wow. So he's been battling that from lap 1.
It's 3 wide going through the staircase on lap 1, though.
Never a good idea.
Tricky. But yeah. He was about to become... The problem is, you're like, oh, look, I get the access to the inside, and the very next corner, it's like, oh, no, you're back on the outside, so... And we're hearing it might have been an issue for Jared Philsell. We were talking about he was slow on the previous lap, and he's significantly closer to everyone else. Oh, he finally found the barrier. He's been out there and flirting with disaster, but that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was just a little make-out session, that one. That wasn't too bad.
So, a lot of time lost there. That was only apparently about 2 or 3 tenths worth on the run down to turn number 9. So there's still another half second unaccounted for. So he's had some sort of drama somewhere, which means that this is a lot more tricky than it seems on the surface at the moment. I can tell you, I've just been keeping an eye on Madison Down's lap times, 22.5, still about 6 tenths of a second faster than our race leaders at the moment. So that undercut strategy is going to be paying mega dividends at the moment. A very good opportunity for him to actually gain probably a good 4 or 5 seconds right now. Here's another pit stop, and that's in deep, and that might have been the cone on the pit lane entry for Dylan Rudd. 40 kilometers an hour through the pit lane here at Adelaide.
Oh, I tell you, that 40 kilometers is absolutely brutal. I think this racetrack almost needs to be 50 or 60 kilometers through there, because it feels like you're not moving at all.
All right, so Dylan Rudd got sick of being cooped up. Not really able to make a whole bunch of room. He's decided to do something about it. Jordan Ross is harassing the rear end of Dylan O'Shea. So I've only seen 2 cars make pit stops, and this might be the leading edge of the window for Dylan Rudd. Might be a touch too early. There's going to be some dividends to pay on the tyres later on in the run for sure.
Mate, speaking of tyres, we are lap 18 of 70, and the marble build-up that we're already seeing, especially through the staircase, is just incredible. So, you know, to be so early on in the race and already have that build-up, this might be a factor a little bit later on.
The best part
no! It's Calamity! Calamity corner!
Was that the 2 teammates that got into each other?
Or 3 teammates, maybe?
And remember, Josh Anderson was just in behind Jake Maloney, and it was Anderson who was right behind him. So the teammates have made contact.
Oh dear. That'll make for an interesting Christmas lunch at TTR, right?
Oh, this is not going to be good.
Now, the one rule that we have in motor racing with teammates: just don't take the teammate out. Oh my goodness! And drilled him. And on the third. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yes, Christmas lunch will be interesting at TTR.
You know who actually skated through all that and picked up a whole bunch of spots and is sitting in his season high position? Tyson Broad, up to 7th spot. There you go, a whole bunch of freebies there. There was 4 freebies in that for Tyson.
Merry Christmas, Tyson. And look at the gap he's got.
Presented to him quite comfortably by the Jake Maloney Richard Hempstead Christmas car.
Yeah. But look at him. He's got fresh air now. He's going, how good's this?
And the biggest thing is he can do whatever he wants with strategy. He's not at risk now. He can just have somebody talk to him. And I believe it'll be Sam Blacklock that'll be in his ear tonight. Just talking to him. Yep. Heaps of room. What you can do. This is James Scott. What he can see on the way down in here. Can't even see the puff of smoke. Now we can see 2 cars getting into each other.
TTR, make it 3 TTR. Oh,
and they just come back across the track. And Brady Myers stalled that car for a couple of moments there. You see that?
Yeah. Awful. Oh, there you go. So who's that? That's someone else in the lane. That's Anderson, was it? So he's into the lane. Well, look, you know, like I said, it's not ideal when teammates come together, but move up the inside. A little bit of side by side. That's not over yet. Now up the inside through the staircase. Oh, there's the marbles that I was talking about earlier. They're going to start to become into it. When they start dicing, it's a move up the inside again. Dylan Pereira almost made the move, but they survived to fight for another day. The staircase got interesting.
It's not done yet. These guys are slowly coming back towards each other at the moment. Brenton Hobson, we're right on board the sill. The entry, look at how close to the barrier is at the turn-in point at turn 8. Little bit more room out the other side. And then the braking zone, the tip-in point down at turn 9. When you're thinking about a dive bomb, you might have to cover it. He's out
on the grass.
He might just get away with this one. Just barely gets away with it. Andre Youssef, the benefactor of a mistake from Hobbo. It was a mistake earlier on in the season, the qualifying series, that prevented Hobbo from making his way through. There's going to be a queue up on the way into the pit lane. And I've just seen Dylan Rudd had a big old crack after his pit stop at Madison Down. Pinched it big time heading down into turn number 9 as well. So everyone's starting to get a little bit more aggressive. Pit lane window probably open now for tyres. And a nice chunk of the race out of the way. The fall off is huge. So just making sure that you can maximise these tyres is critical as well. How long do our race leaders go? They're a fan of the long run. Is everyone down at Lobs Esports? So I get the feeling they might run this one all the way out to lap 30.
Well, where they're at the moment, it's smart racing because they're not getting harassed by anyone. They've got clear racetrack. You know, you're mad to sort of... But the position they're in at the moment, you take a pit stop now, you're going to be back in the mess. So they may as well just run it till the tyres fall off it, or whether the fuel runs out, whatever comes first, and then dive into the lane. So they're playing it very smart, all these top 5 at least.
We've got our first major accident down at turn 3. First couple cars. Brady Baldwin Seasons is done. It's 2 Synergy cars. It's Team Boss and Brady Baldwin's in the barriers as well. Absolute carnage through the chicane.
We were just having a crack at TTR for teammates getting together, and it looks like Synergy Sim Racing
Dylan Rudd's just about gone around, gotten to Madison Down right now as well. Safety car's been deployed. Here we go. You can't make it home from here, by the way. 33 laps in the fuel tank. Critical lap number, about 37. Just after the halfway mark. It is all kicking off from the streets of Adelaide. The safety car makes its journey out into the racetrack. Here we go, boys. Cue them back up. Rack 'em, stack 'em. If you thought the first stanza of this race was exciting. And we're going to get a replay. And I can tell you, our producer's going nuts. He's seen the footage. We're going to get an opportunity to have a look at it. And the other thing that was worthwhile in all of that, I saw a comment from Jake Burton that says, yeah, team chat, not pleasant right now.
Here we go. Oh, he's rolled it! It's a massive, massive incident through the centre chicane. Takes out his teammate. Unbelievable stuff on the streets of Adelaide. Oh my goodness. That will go down in the history books. He's speechless. You're speechless, aren't you, Scotty?
I just there's nothing to say.
I wasn't expecting a shunt like that. Unbelievable.
The lead group are all going to dive into the pit lane at this point in time, and it's worthwhile having a watch with this one. You can see Baldwin just up ahead of him. And by the way, he's got teammate Dylan Pereira in behind him. Well, there's Pereira rejoining from pit lane entry, so he dodges him. Where do you go? Where do you go?
Oh. Look, it's easy to say now in hindsight, but he did stay in the throttle. He probably should have backed out of it when he saw that car flipping and bouncing through the air. But like I said, it's easier said than done now that we've seen the replay. But man, oh man, I don't think anyone was expecting an incident like that on the streets of Adelaide.
My word.
So this
How
is
about this
Bo
one,
Albert.
Albert?
Yeah,
This will be
he's coming out.
There's Pereira right in front of him, by the way.
Oh my goodness. So look up ahead. See him clips the tyres, starts to barrel roll, flips up nose on end over end, and it's just like, where do I go? Oh, he managed to get away with that too. It's shades of Jason. I mean, Jason Bright's was, obviously he went left into the tyres up near the fence, but the way that thing barrel rolled, unbelievable. Tell you what, if you're going to crash, go out in style.
Car parts everywhere. The good news is, if you're a Brady Baldwin fan, you can find bits of his hood, his front splitter, maybe a rear wing, souvenirs.
Oh, you'd just be gutted. You're out of the race too. That's just so much damage, and unfortunately a teammate gets involved, and it's just bad luck. Oh, so here we go. This is the slow-mo. And this is where he turns in and he'll clip that tyre bundle. Bang! Have a look at that. Just the way it tips over. An absolute passenger. I told you that tyre bundle wasn't going to move. It certainly doesn't care. It just stayed put. And unfortunately, he paid the massive price and has taken him out of the race.
We're hearing Brady Baldwin might have actually had a screen freeze in the middle of the turn-in or something.
Oh, you're joking.
So then he was just a passenger. He had no idea. Well, once he hit the tyre bundle, at least there was nothing he could have done. There was no car part of the tyres in contact with the ground.
Oh, that's rotten luck, isn't it? And then to add insult to injury, a teammate gets involved as well. So, yeah, that's just, you couldn't script that, could you? Like, we had a feeling that the centre chicane would bite, but just unfortunately, just that screen freeze and...
So if that's going to happen,
area.
You don't want to take out a team car.
No.
But even worse, you don't want to take out the team boss. Mate, teammates getting into each other at the moment. Are Lobs going to have a squabble on track before we get there?
Geez, now you've done it. There's enough of it. Look, 3 out of the 4.
Gilly's lost a spot in pit lane. Rosella's got by him.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Stenny's in 10th. So he's rolled the dice a little bit, has he? So there you go.
Potentially for Stenny, I'm thinking.
Or did he stay out? Up 19 spots.
You know what? He pit under the safety car. That is, yeah, he's made gain.
Wow.
Jake Blackhall's 35th spot and sits 7th in the queue at the moment, so he's not going to make much of a gain. Bo Albert's made a huge gain with that early stop as well. Cut his way through the field. Adam Briggs is also plus 11 spots as well, which would be nice. He'd just about be locked in. All he's got to do is finish this race, but I think the big thing tonight is finishing this race is not guaranteed until you see the end of lap 70. Right, we're going to reset ourselves for another restart. Zach Rattray White gets his first opportunity to sit second in the queue. This is an opportunity for ZRW to win a race if he can be aggressive enough. If he lets Phil Sell go, that might be all gone and all done for him. So every opportunity to get aggressive. Jake Blackhall, we said, was a lapped car in the queue. He dives out of the way and jumps in the pits. That's actually smart driving by him. Just to manage the traffic means he's not in anyone's battle whilst he's off the lead lap. And the run through the first chicane, if we have another clout with that tyre bundle right now, it will be massive.
Yeah, I think this is a good chance for everyone just to catch their breath and, know that we're not even near the halfway mark yet. So they just need to be smart about this race and, settle down for a little bit. I think we got lost up a bit with all that TTR commotion. The drama that brings is that Josh Anderson, who obviously was involved in that, he was sitting P3 into the championship coming into tonight. So that's going to put him in a spot of bother. He is down in 34th position at the moment. So that's going to hurt his points to finish off season 25.
I wonder whether he didn't get damaged Yeah, he got damage. He came back in for damage repair, which is why he's sitting all the way back down there. So there was a fair bit of damage on board the front end of car number 36. So he spent some time trying to pick away at some of it, give himself a little bit of a fresh race car to go to war with. So for now, it's going to continue being Jared Philsell to lead the way from Rattray White. Damon Woods is starting to close up a little bit as well. Griffin Gardner's a little bit closer than he has been to this point. But the big thing is opportunity presents itself. And this is one of those opportunities to fight deeper inside the top 10. Tyson Broad has not had a great year. He's had to miss quite a number of rounds. New job, fly in, fly out work for him working in the mines over in Western Australia has not necessarily allowed him to put his best face forward. But tonight, this is punching well above his weight.
What a great camera angle as we took that reverse camera going through the staircase. That was brilliant. Really gives you an understanding. Oh, nice and close. Might even call the wall. He's going to make for a dive? No, thinks better of it. But, man, that camera really showed you through the staircase of just how brutal that part of the racetrack can be and really gives you an understanding. I was talking about the crown. The crown in this road, especially through the staircase, is incredible. And it really gives you a real good understanding of what these guys are up against.
Run to the final corner. We've already seen quite a number of mistakes down here at the last corner. Have a look at the marbles left and right of the racing line as well. It's not just one side, it's both sides. So getting away from that racing line is going to be quite tricky, and trying to find a way past is going to be even more tricky at the moment. Damon Woods sets the new fastest lap of the race, so he's going to turn his speed on board the Eclipse number 56. This queue is all just starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger in behind Dylan Rudd. How about a talk about battle for the bubble? At the moment, Adam Briggs has picked up a spot. Wayne Burke was only 8 points ahead of him at the start of the night. For some reason, Wayne Burke not scoring points. By the look of things at the moment, here's the big dive. Marbles on the outside. No, everyone needs to walk away from it.
For now, 3 wide. Stop
and
it.
this is not going to work well into turn number 8 as they all try and have a go at each other. Who's willing to back out? Do they sort it out? Yes. The zipper effect works its way through. Van Delsen about to the rear bar. On the run through turn 8. Manages to get out of it. James Scott covering. Here comes the center in the background. Well, I don't think anyone's being patient anymore. I think the aggression's just been turned up a notch.
Well, these boys don't care at the moment, do they? But they were cautiously aggressive. They gave each other racing room, but they were all having a red-hot go. That was brilliant.
My word. How good is Adelaide? How good is Adelaide?
Those marbles that we were touching on, they seem to be starting to play effect now, because we saw one of those cars that just got a little bit wide and was in that marble and couldn't quite get it turned. So it made a little bit of contact with the wall on the outside, but got away with it. Not massive damage, but look through here. The exit on the corners here, you can see the tyre build up through there. Look how horrible it is through there. So it's almost single file. If you start racing side by side and get someone off into the marbles there, it's going to make their life hell.
So this is going to be about discipline, but such is street racing in general. The biggest thing I think, Sam, is going to be just about no opportunity to switch off at all.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's Adelaide for you, isn't it? Oh, someone's made contact there.
More contact with the wall. Ian Ford trying to get the elbows out for his final time inside the Pro Series as well. And Dylan Rudd's coming under a lot of pressure. Tyson Broad's actually made that spot, and now he's starting to run away with it in P7. He's doing a great job. How about Stenny? Up and inside the top 10 and up and through the curbing at turn 1. Oh, that was challenging the barriers on the left. How much curb at turn 3? Just a lick. He just nudged it at turn 3.
How great seeing Stenny in P10 at the moment. He's right there in the thick of it as we approach lap 30 of 70. Always love watching his camera and just seeing him up on the wheel.
Did Dylan O'Shea just clear out the inside barrier down there at 6? He really hopped the curb aggressively at turn 6. I don't know if he quite got it. Look at the marbles everywhere at turn 7. Everyone's calling over. There's a car backwards. Sean McNamara. Sean McNamara has had some sort of drama in his final appearance. Stenberg, did he get to the inside and get a pass done? I think he might have done.
Oh, they're going to drive up the inside.
Oh, it's still kicking on. Yeah, McNamara's...
Oh, Stenny's been pushed wide. He's going to drop a couple of spots.
So think about this. That's Dylan Rudd, by the way, who, remember, he came in for a little bit of an undercut at the back end of lap 18, and now he's paying for it because he didn't come back in for another stop at the safety car. So this is everyone bottled in behind Dylan Rudd, who was on older tyres. Albert's got through. He's going to try and skip clear. Dylan O'Shea's got through. Now they're all starting to try and line him up. Stenberg will be the next one to try and take a crack, but there's been some paint traded inside the 10.
Now there was some big damage that we saw. We're going to wait for a replay. Was it Widders and Varndell I'm hearing, I think. So
Jack Widders, let it go. Just about gets to the inside of Varndell. Into the back bar, rotates Varndell, and they all just pile in.
oh man, it's just a concertina effect there. Yeah, a little bit of nose to tail contact. Unfortunately, it's all ended up in drama, but not massive damage, but just they lose so much track time when you're stationary like that. But put the Mozzer on Stenny. I said how good Stenny's up inside the top 10. He's now 11th now, but he's got his work cut out for him.
Remember how we were talking about Dylan Pereira and his battle for the bubble and where he was running in terms of things? Something's happened since that restart. Remember, he was the first car in behind. Yeah, and that was him getting bumped into on the way into that accident at the moment. Brian Borg and Bo Albert both plus 20. Ethan Griegolt. By the way, a little bit of whispering in the background. This could be Ethan Griegolt's last full tilt season. He's not had a great season this year. And opportunities keep opening up for him.
There we go. OGD replay. Oh!
Pereira was the guy that got into the back of Sean McNamara.
Tell you what, if you're going to be involved in an accident, that's the one you want to be in, because he just barged his way through. Obviously, that had nothing to do with him. It happened all in front of him, but he managed to get through relatively unscathed.
Takes on through. Varndell's going to come to pit lane. That might be the end of season 25. And hearing, and I saw the note that popped through with this one as it just came through in our reports. No further action in that accident, by the way. Varndell apparently was not touched by Widders. He lost it on his own.
Oh.
He moves to the inside. And successful. Look at everyone's just on a little bit of different tyre strategy at the moment as well. Oh, they're going to go side by side. No, down into turn 11. Is someone going to find the barriers?
Oh.
Just barely kept it out. Matthew Bowler on the outside that are all trying to weave their way through at the moment. Hobson looking backwards. You can just hear the throttle management. Here comes the send from Maloney, who's looking to try and gain some time back. After contact with teammates, Bowler was struggling to get the power down out of the last corner in the background of that one.
I just got a little kiss from Hampstead. How about that?
I think you want to hand that one back.
Hey, all's fair in love and war. Come on.
Damon Woods is not having a bad night at the office, but something's happened in the last couple laps because he's all of a sudden just lost a little bit of touch. And Griffin Gardner, after not necessarily starting where he wanted to, sorry, my apologies. He did start in 6th for Griffin Gardner. He's just not quite been able to go with the lead group. Could be conserving things as well, too.
Yeah, there's no need to fret just yet. He's in touch with the leaders. Still, what are we, lap 32? So, I think he's in a pretty good position. I know there's about 20 odd blokes behind him that would love to be in his position. So, it's not too bad at this stage.
Mate, the ability to see your way through the chicane at turn 1 and 2 without a car all that much in the way would be lovely. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily going that way.
Yeah. Actually, it might be interesting as this race goes on if we find a battle that, you know, someone's nose to tail, and to go from the driver's view and just to see how much you know, how difficult it is to sort of pick your line through the corners. So when you've got a car that's tucked right up in behind, just here where you're trying to pick your apexes turning in, and then you're thinking about doing that, especially into the centre chicane. Like, you know, you're looking on the outside to make sure that no one's coming out of the pit lane, and then you try not to miss that, not to hit the bundle on the inside. And look at Stenny just trying to get as much curb on the inside as he can. Get the power down, up that curb. And now he's just pulling gears. Sniff what little tiny draft that he can get. We spoke about how these Gen 3 cars don't really suck up.
Good speed.
Not on it. Yeah, he's
Good
just got
speed.
the wipe there to clear the window. A little bit of rubber debris up there. Into the braking zone. His car actually looks quite good.
Not all that easy to see the turn-in point for turn 9, as well as the shadows kick over the middle of the apex.
How many drivers are actually doing the happy dance that we don't have showers here at Adelaide? Can you imagine that the first time round?
Heat of the day, I'll take it. It's better than the rain.
Yeah. But you can see the conditions there. It is getting a little bit cooler, so they'll be thankful for that as the afternoon goes on. As we saw some absolute scorching temperatures for qualifying, but thankfully it is starting to dip down a little bit.
This is actually Ryan Jones' best driver of the season thus far as well. He's also up to 13th spot, although don't say too much about 13 and race cars. That tends to get you escorted out the back of the paddock very, very quickly.
I love going quiet through there and just listening to the throttle application all through that staircase section, because you really want to mash the throttle. But these V8s with this gear ratio, it's so easy to light the tyres up. The car in front of Wayne Burke, who's that, James Scott? Yeah, James Scott made heavy contact with the turn 8 wall. Oh, up the inside Myers.
I think that little door kiss in the middle of the corner was just a thank you, I'll take that one. Thanks for leaving it open. Hope you enjoy the marbles.
Yeah, well, you're a passenger. Once you touch the marbles, you've got no say in the matter whatsoever.
Good luck. Brady Myers has been pressing on the last couple laps, trying to make up some spots. And it was a bunch of drivers touching the wall on that lap, by the way. Adam Briggs is going to have a go at Ryan Jones. I think Jones picked up a slowdown penalty, and he'll yield that spot. Have a look at the queue of the cars as they come down through turn 8, turn 9.
Oh dear.
Oh, just about every one of them got it. There's Borgie grabbing the fence. Look at every car. Yeah, Maloney doesn't touch it. Hollow gets it. Madison down. James Scott got it. Berkey didn't. Brady Myers didn't quite get it.
How good. Oh, here we go. Gilliam. What's happened to Gilliam?
Gilliam's all of a sudden just not displaying speed. So whether or not he got a slowdown penalty at the start of the lap and now he's just sort of recovering it, just trying to hold off Damon Woods in behind him at the moment. He's slipped back to these guys, or he could just be struggling.
Oh dear.
Raw speed on board this car. Bang! That's a big one because the wall pokes back out there, and that spot has now changed hands. That was at the last corner.
Yeah, he's made maybe a dive up the inside and got the job done. So maybe that car he was already on the tail of him there before he got into the wall. So look at the margin that he already lost to his teammates. So something happened earlier in the lap because Gilliam was right there. So unfortunately, he's now lost that spot. It looked like it happened, was it maybe into the last turn? So
I'm going to go ahead and say you got to slow down out at the chicane. And that's sort of what set it up.
The car looks reasonably straight. Doesn't look like there's too much damage.
But check this out. This is the run from Damon Woods down through turn 1, turn 2.
Push came. Oh. Yeah, he's had it looks like a slowdown. Oh,
Okay.
and he's just parked it. He's parked it. He's parked it. Oh my goodness. So he's just trying to give up as little pace as he can because he's had that slowdown. Oh, and it's continued all the way through the staircase. And now he's probably cleared it now, and now they're getting on with it. But then as we saw, he made contact with the turn 8 barrier.
He's not happy.
He's just trying to break whatever little toe is there. He makes contact here, and then it goes on for the rest of the lap, and it's just towards, I think, near pit entry. That's when he gets the job done under brakes. Oh, live pictures. Is that Stenny? Stenny's been turned around. He's gone round.
Oh, Dylan Pereira.
Oh, don't turn it, Stenny. Oh, goodness. Oh, that car's not turning. He's obviously on the marbles. Can't get it turned. We'll find out what's happened here as we go to the OG Gear replay. Oh, he's been caught. Oh! So that was a chain reaction. Oh, man. Lucky to get out of harm's way because there was a lot of cars. So it all started was a bounce off the wall. Stenny started to make the move up the inside, and then they came together, and that pointed Stenny around the wrong direction.
How about that?
Here we go. This is the end. This is where he dives up the inside.
Look at the late move. Yeah, he recognised if he made a move any earlier than that, Gilliam would just cover it. Just disincentivize it. So it's the last possible moment. He got to come off the brake. And James Scott is going to get rotated at turn 9. And the exit. And it's Brady Myers who gets into him. Yeah, so all of the Trans-Tasman cars are getting in and amongst it tonight.
Stewards will probably have something to say about that too, unfortunately. So, yeah, man. Maybe people are just starting to get a little bit impatient now. They know laps are starting to tick away. But it's so easy to make contact around here. And unfortunately, once that car started to go around, there was nothing that either of them could do about it.
33 laps to go. We are on the leading edge of the pit window to get home. They're 15 laps into the stint at the moment. That safety car come right in the middle of the pit window. Sort of normalise the strategy for the bulk of the field. How far are you willing to go? Well, the stewards will be investigating that incident down at turn 9. 15 laps into the stint, I think, is quite critical. Because we're, somewhat halfway into this stint. Another 8 laps or so. Gets us to about 23 and 25 laps home. You might go 9 laps, get to 24 lap stints to run home. Will probably be the plan of attack for the bulk of the field. But then again, Madison Down proved earlier how strong an undercut was.
What drama happened in front? Is this on board with Brady? It's gone up the inside. Oh. He's made nose-to-tail contact with his teammate. Then, unfortunately, these guys have just come together. And, yeah, unfortunately, it's all ended up as a bit of a disaster. Everything's turned to custard for both of them.
Post-race debrief at TTR is not going to be a pretty sight, I don't think. But it's last night of the year. Perhaps it might just all get thrown out the window. That was Ryan Jones letting Ethan Green go. And the reason for that, slowdown penalty at turn 1 and 2. Too much of the right-hand side at turn 2. O'Shea and Bo Albert. O'Shea got through on Dylan Rudd a little bit earlier on. Remember, Dylan Rudd's still on older tyres right now and struggling. Now Bo Albert's going to think about diving to the inside of him at turn 9. No, boys. Let's not do that. Let's not get that silly. O'Shea just not able to carry any speed off the corners at the moment. Bo Albert's going to send it down the inside. They're both in a little bit hot. And he crisscrosses and gets back underneath him. Does get good power down, good traction. Little bit of contact as they head through turn 11, but he's on the outside when they get to
Marbles.
11. Marbles. And finally, Bo Albert will get away with that one. How both of those cars didn't end up in the fence. Neither of them had 4 tyres on the green section of the racetrack. They were both 2 tyres in the marbles. Gee, they're getting the elbows. The boys are having fun tonight. But you're just wondering, how far away is safety car number 2? Will be the barring Bathurst, I think it'd be the only time we'd have 2 safety cars in the race all season.
Yeah, well, they gave each other just enough racing room. That was really good hard racing. And he's going to make a dive up the inside of Bo Albert. Is he get it done? Beautiful pass up the inside. Thank you very much. Yeah, Bo's going to sit there and go, oh, okay. Well, I thought I had the job done on Dylan, but I'm going to have another crack at it again.
I reckon Bo Albert might have picked up a slowdown penalty for the chicane that lap, and he was just trying to make it awkward. No, it might have been okay. Might have been okay. Would have been right on the limit.
Wasn't it Dylan that we were watching that didn't get a lap in until like the very last moment in qualifying? And here he is in P8. So how good is that? What a comeback from Dylan.
Yeah, it started 20th spot for Dylan O'Shea in car number 19. Up to 8th now, after getting through on Bo Albert.
He put that lap down with maybe a minute to go or something. So that's, that's really impressive. Good bounce back.
What a drive from Luke Rosella as well. He'd be quite happy with this one. He's not had a season to write home about. An average-ish sort of season and not really a whole deal has gone his way. Sits third at the moment. Qualified there and in the mix. It's the only year he's failed to win a race in the Endurance Cup. This year, he's been quite successful over the last couple. Bathurst in 2024, Sandown in 2023. Got aggressive with the strategy on that day with Harley Haber. Had a very, very difficult decision to make. And they decided to bolt fresh tyres on and back the pace in of the young gun. And he had to make some overtakes on that day and then drove away with it. It's given a lot of room. Something's happened to 06. Bo Albert's just had some sort of drama in that battle with Dylan O'Shea. He's just on the radio about it. You know what? It's our favourite friend, the slowdown penalty through the first chicane.
Oh dear.
Dylan O'Shea serving a slowdown penalty and trying to hold Bo Albert up. You come away with the spot. But that's the problem with Adelaide, is you can just prop the car up and make it difficult to get the overtake done.
Yep. There's no rule that you have to let everyone through if you're serving a slowdown penalty. So you can make it as difficult as you want. There's no rules in it whatsoever. So it's frustrating as heck for the guy behind, because you know that purposely that driver is slowing down because they got a penalty. But like you said, when you go through the staircase section, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's so hard to pass.
Oh, Albert has just gone completely the other way in strategy and says, yep, I've had enough of that. I'm not dealing with it. Comes in to serve his final stop of 2025. Final pit stops of the season, ladies and gentlemen. We are inside the window to get home. The problem for Bo Albert, that is going to be a 29-lap stint or a 30-lap stint to get home. His rear tyres are going to be in for a world of hurt. Track temp has dropped from where we started this session down to 50 degrees Celsius, so it's coming back the way of the drivers. But that is a big lick of fuel. 90 litres is the maximum fuel tank they can have around here. I think it's about 93.8, I believe, off the top of my head. And Bo Albert would have added about 80 litres of fuel to get home to that race car. Comes out just in behind Hayden Veld, who's still dealing with the damage on board car 53.
It's the beauty of having a teammate. I think because they're on different strategies, the teammate might just make it very easy for Mr. Albert to get past, and that's exactly what he does. Just gets right out of the way. So he'll be very thankful for that. So Rudd's in the lane.
Dylan Rudd will be so keen to get off those tyres. He has just been walking wounded in this second stint of the race. And now have a look at what the pack in behind where Dylan Rudd was is capable of. Again, that'll be another driver that's going to suffer at the back end of the stint, though, when he was already suffering. So hopefully makes it just a little bit better. Adam Briggs now moves into 10th spot. And he'll have Ethan Greencolt, for company.
does my heart good knowing that we've got Adelaide and turn 8 in the sim now. Oh my goodness, how good is that?
About Porsche Cups, we've got the 992.2 generation of car, complete with traction control and ABS, and the build as well. Done any laps on board that thing?
No, not yet. Been too busy trying to get my eye in for vets.
My sim's been out of commission of late. Had some dramas with monitors, unfortunately. So I haven't been. Go ahead.
I am a bit spewing that. I know it doesn't exist anymore, but it would have been great to have the full Grand Prix circuit added as an option. But nevertheless, we're still just thrilled to have it as part of our calendar in the supercars.
Yeah. How's the hotel? How's the viewing in and around Adelaide, just outside of the racetrack? And that is what it looks like entering down at turn 9 as race leader Jared Filsell makes his way through.
Yeah, through the beautiful Adelaide parklands. Of course, this part through the park was a purpose-built for the racetrack. The rest of it was all street circuit. So this section that we're looking here, this actually wasn't there when the Adelaide Corporation will put together for the Grand Prix Corporation, I should say, for the Adelaide event. This part was all added and the rest of it was all street circuit. But it's an amazing little part of the racetrack. And of course, you've got the pit complex and everything else. And yeah. Oh, it's the old Caltech servo out the back there too. So, geez, they've gone into some detail out the back there as well.
Yep. Cars making their way by, enjoying.
Oh,
how good is it?
Love it.
That overhead shot. Cars make their way down and through 1 and 2. And there's the tyre bundle. That's getting to work out. And a bit of a headbutt from Brady Baldwin earlier on in the piece.
Gives you a real understanding of how they have to really straight line that circuit. That part of the circuit, I should say, as you turn in. What is our
More
producer?
importantly than that, I believe that's the plaque for Ayrton Senna and the Senna chicane. And the flowers just to the bottom side. That one available. And you wouldn't know that's there if you attended during a race weekend, because that is a section of the racetrack you're not likely to get anywhere near. Just on the inside of the barriers.
Zach Retro White, he's in the pits.
This is a play for a little bit of track position.
Yeah, so this is the first of our front runners that have decided to bite the bullet. 25 laps to go. So Tyson Broad's in as well, so we can see. And they'd be hoping that when they get their pit stop over and done with, they come out in a little bit of clear air too, so...
I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem for these guys at the moment because, again, track is fairly polluted at this point in time. Stop it. Stop it. Don't get that close to the chicane. We might end up with our second safety car of the night. On the run through turn number 1. It's challenging. The cars just whip through there. You know what's interesting to think about? They're going through that chicane faster than legal speed limit. Minimum speed of the chicane, 145 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, it's hold your breath stuff. It's commitment, and that's, yeah, it's absolutely unique for Adelaide, and we love it. And when you get it right, it's a good feeling. And when you get it wrong, it's bloody awful. So it's a great element, a great part of the racetrack, and yeah, we've already seen our fair share of action through there tonight. And who knows what's going to happen over the next 25 laps as Jared Filsell still leads over Luke Rosella, Damon Woods in 3rd, Andrew Gilliam in 4th, Griffin Gardner in 5th, and we're now starting to see the first of these people rolling the dice as far as pit stops. You see Hayden Veld's in the lane as well.
Oh, there's Briggs.
Another one, yep. So this is where it gets spicy now. Everyone's making that charge to home.
24 laps to go on the season. We said it might want to be a 24-lap stint to the end of the race. Dylan O'Shea is going to get down the inside. There's damage on the front right corner of that car now as well. Did you notice that? That's car 19 post pit stop. No, it's a little bit straighter than I thought. I thought it looked like there was a shark bite from the front right-hand corner of car number 19. But no, Dylan O'Shea's made his final pit stop of the season. What happened to Bo Albert? Because he made his final stop as well, and he's nowhere near. Albert might have copped a speeding penalty. Some sort of issue on the way in and out of pit lane.
Sure about that one. Briggs, Anderson, Block and Cable. So Dylan O'Shea now fastest lap of the race. See with a new set of Dunlops on. So how much longer till we see our top 5 dive off in then as well? And that's Phil Sell, so he's in.
Yeah, had to. Absolutely had to. Could not let Zach Rattray White have a multi-lap undercut. Otherwise, he would have to actually go out and earn it on the racetrack.
Yep.
Yeah, he just didn't want to make that challenge. Andrew Gilliam's going to go long.
Yeah, this will give us an understanding of how this is going to play out now. It's catch-22, isn't it? You don't want to stay out too long because you know everyone's on those pressure time.
It's going to be very, very tight. They're going to go side by side through the first chicane. James with the active race lead. Rattray White ran wide.
Slow down.
It's important. He's got a slow down penalty. He's got Phil Sell into the rear bar. But he had to be aggressive. He made a bomb. He made a mistake. But that is how you have a crack. You don't just sit back and be patient. Rattray White went for the undercut. He very, very nearly pulled that one off.
Mate, if he'd only just made that chicane and didn't get the slowdown, he would have been fine. But Jared knew straight away. Unfortunately, he just took too much curb. He knew he was going to get that slowdown. And you see, he tries to block him. So he gets up the inside here, cuts the chicane, he gets the penalty. And then Jared's into the back of him because he knows he's trying to hold him up. So a little bit of contact. Lucky not to go around.
Oh, live pictures. It's going to be a little lob. Down at turn 9. This one's not over. Phil Sell's trying to bring the tyres in nice and gently. Can he hang on to this one, though? I guarantee you, if he can settle into the rhythm, he'll just start to eke away. 1 lap worth of tyre advantage isn't a lot, but it is something. But they've lit it up. Rattray White knows that a race win is coming. It's a matter of when. It's not if. He's had a pole position in the series now. When is it going to come his way? Can he finally check that last box? Oh, man, how good is that? Pass for the race lead. So we've just seen a warning come through as well, and this appears to be the way that race control is going with it. Car 19, Dylan O'Shea, black and white flag, warning for bad sportsmanship for serving the slowdown penalty right in front of Bo Albert and holding him up.
There you go. Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting take because I think when it happened, there's no real rule set that you can't do it. So maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's something that race control will look at. And like I said, it makes it incredibly difficult if you are going to try and get past. It's pretty easy to try and slow someone up if you've got that penalty, especially through the staircase. So maybe that's something that race control is going to keep an eye on throughout the season of racing.
Yeah, look at the margin Phil Sell was able to gain after that, though.
Yeah,
he's certainly...
He's been quick all day, hasn't he? So I think now that he's got that 1 lap of fresher tyres or a couple lap fresher tyres, and now he's getting himself into a rhythm. So
Andrew Gilliam's come to pit lane, made his final pit stop of the season as well. I'm surprised we haven't seen that second safety car. The fact that we've had so many cars do this many laps and there's only been one clout the tyre bundle. Could be a second one in just a few moments as Adam Briggs was trying to make a pass out of the last corner. Gets the job done. Look at him. Look how close they are through that section, and Briggs actually made a mistake. He did actually take too much of the curbing at turn 2. Green Gold will accept a freebie.
And for anyone who's done laps around this racetrack, you will know how incredibly easy it is to get a slowdown through that section. You know, you think you're on the margin and you think you're going to get away with it. Oh, what's happened here?
Retro White's had some sort of drama now.
Yeah,
Phil,
he's
sorry,
right
no,
with it.
with Rosella. Right on the gearbox.
Yeah, but it's so easy to get a penalty and a slowdown through there. Up the inside, he's not going to hold on. Is he going to get it there? Oh, he's in the marbles. Absolute sit and duck as soon as you touch those marbles. Look how much ground he lost just from touching those marbles. Didn't get the exit. The tires were a little bit dirty. And he's lost himself maybe a second and a half.
Just gone, disappears down the road. And Luke Rosella nearly didn't pull that car up, actually, for the final corner as well. So he was aggressive with the move at the last corner. That's actually been the place to go tonight. We've seen quite a number at that last corner, which I wasn't expecting to see. But just guys just going in there, releasing the brake pedal a little bit, firing the car to the right-hand side, getting down the inside, and walking away with it. Somebody's clouded the barrier down at turn 7, coming onto the back straight. It might be Jack Widdis. There was a ton of smoke down through there. Just about everyone's done their final stops of the season. I think we're just waiting on those few guys at the head of the field have now cleared that final pit stop. James Scott, Jack Widdis going at it through the staircase.
Scott up the inside. Oh, he's giving him a touch. Oh, they've got away with it. Oh, a little bit of how you going. Still not over. Oh, he's going to make Scott's going to make a move up the inside here. No. Oh, he's giving him a touch. And round goes Widdis.
Installed the car for good measure as well. There goes Ian Ford through the shot as well.
You can see Scott, he's trying to slow down to give the position back, but Widdis is still trying to get the thing cranked up and get going again.
Final corner. Right, you wanted an opportunity to go through turn 1. On board a pack of cars all together. This might be the opportunity as they were all nose to tail coming out of the last corner. Fires it into turn 1 up and across the curbing. Battle pack. Hobson. Bowler. Briggs.
Oh,
and here comes Jake Maloney down the inside.
Nice.
What does the top 20 standings look like? At the moment, still safe and secure. Adam Briggs. Fair margin back to Ian Ford. Unfortunately, heading into tonight's race, there was about 100 points in it. Wasn't really something that was going to be contested. Yeah, I reckon Maloney's not going to just pick off the one this lap. I think he's going to have another crack down at turn 9 as well.
Yeah,
good drive.
Yeah. Here we go. If he can set himself a nice exit through 8. He's got a good run up the inside here. Thank you very much. He'll be able to jingle all the way now, right through.
On Dasher, on Dancer.
Oh, there's been drama in front. Someone pinched a brake there.
Ethan Griggold,
Yeah,
I'd say. Car number 7.
got away with it.
Mate, and a free ticket back to the series hinged on that final lap incident from Bathurst between himself and Brenton Hobson. Ryan O'Sullivan drove a great job on board car 7 as the co-driver. Last time out, they were in and looking pacey and just one final dive. Right, yeah, Ethan Griggold.
Jeez, got away with it. Any wider, he would have been in the marbles. And up the inside. Oh, not quite, Maloney. They're going to battle it. Again, side by side through the staircase. They're going to try the under-over.
I got him.
Sideways. Oh, he's up the inside now. Oh, more contact. This is where the marbles have come into effect. Oh, Hobbo. So he didn't lose 1. He might lose 3 spots here.
Just fought it a little bit too long, didn't he? It was an opportunity to let that one go nice and early. Maloney's got fresher tyres. Briggs is going to skate through. The teammates working together just a little. They still carry it side by side. Madison Downs got fresher rubber on board as well. Hobbo covers.
Yeah, smart heads-up racing there from Hobbo. He knew exactly what Down was going to do. Covered to the inside. And held him off.
How good was the send from multiple car lengths back as well? And Hobbo still didn't feel comfortable. Had to just make sure there was no space there. Yeah. Big thing is how good is the tyre deck, just giving us the ability for guys to go a few laps longer, strap some tyres on, and just feel quite comfortable at the moment. Rudd, Burke, Greg Gold.
Is that a slow down? Oh,
Yeah, it is.
I think it might be. Oh, it's so easy to do. So easy to do. But that's part of it. You know, if you can pressure the guys around you to making that little mistake, you basically gifted almost a free spot because they have to take that 1 second slowdown. So if you can get past them, then it's a free kick. So that's all it's about, putting as much pressure as you can around the people that are around you.
Oh, he got the barrier.
Oh, yeah, he did. So that's what got him offline. Caught the inside, and that shot him out across and grabbed too much curb on the exit.
Second victim of the night that we've seen. I'm sure there's been a couple more that have been missed, but that car didn't look like it also was getting out of there scot-free. And now it's going to be Ethan Green-Gull into Dylan Rudd, into Wayne Burke as they all concertina up. Yeah, Jake Maloney's going to arrive on scene at a rate of knots, and Rudd had Green-Gull into the rear bar. This is the shot. This is the shot. We've been waiting for an opportunity to grab an onboard shot through the first chicane, nose to tail. And Jake Maloney's going to be nose to tail in just a few moments as they all fire it into that final corner. Onboard shot with Ethan Green-Gull.
Pick your apex into turn one, into center chicane. Where is it?
Yeah, don't whack it. Don't touch it up. Do you see how long that Dylan Rudd had to carry the brake pedal? It was actually Green-Gull that made the mistake. In the meantime, Maloney's harassing him in the rear bumper as well. Yeah, down the inside. That's Maloney. That's the fresh tyres.
Maloney's going to you beauty. I reckon sniff a top 10 here. So he wants to peel off a couple more. Back to the OG gear replay. Oh, as close as you want to the tyre barrier on the inside. So Maloney can sniff 2 more positions here. Car looks good. Like you said, those little bit of fresher tyres. And it's making it look easy for him at the moment.
Who's going to be able to carry speed down through turn 8 in this battle pack? 15 laps to go at the end of this one. Maloney did carry speed to the inside of Dylan Rudd. Hasn't cleared him, though. Gets up to the door. Rudd will offer no defence, and that might just open the door for Ethan Green-Gull. Yep, done for him.
Yeah, you almost want to give it up before turning, because if you're stuck on the outside, we've always seen so many people get caught on the outside, and now those marbles that we keep talking about, you touch them, and it's easy to lose 2 spots. So you almost want to get it just over and done with and tuck straight back in line and get on the racing line.
Rick Galt was getting a hurry up there a few moments ago. Andre Youssef, this will be his best result of the season. That is slow.
Here we go.
That is going to be a safety car for sure. Sean McNamara's final trip to the series is over and done with. And there's a car in there. Is that Hayden Veld? It is. Turn 1, turn 2, strikes again. No, they've still got power. They still have got power. 4 now.
It's a horrible spot to be in. Thankfully, they're on the outside of... Can they both get away?
Sean's had to refire that car a couple times. McNamara on board with it at the moment. Bang!
Oh! How's the action from that camera? Well done, Jay. That was brilliant. But you see, when he caught the tyre, he got up on 2 wheels. Thankfully, we've already seen what that corner can do when cars get up on 2 wheels. Thankfully, he didn't roll over, but unfortunately got clipped. And that's night over.
Well, I was just thinking, if you're going to go off anywhere, it's turn 4. Get down the escape at turn 4. Have a look at this queue of cars. They're all banked up. And by the way, there's also a battle that's starting to queue up for P3. Rattray White, something's happened to him in this final stint. He's just got no pace, unfortunately, where he's had pace all night. Bang, bang, bang. Bang!
That's where he's gone. And I want to see the onboard shot from Veld, because he'll be just like, you are kidding me. But there's so much action now happening. Like you said, the battle for third now. Zach Rattray White, Andrew Gilliam. Gilliam coming on strong now. He pit a little bit later. Here we go, the OG gear replay. Bang! Sees the car go round in front of him. Oh, absolutely nowhere to go. That's brutal.
Yeah, Hayden Veld's not had a great night, but that's not the way that he necessarily wants it to end. Right now, though, Rattray White has got his hands full, and I can tell you his car is handling quite poorly at the back end of this stint. Rear tyres look shot. at the moment. Look at how much Gilliam can outbrake him into the final corner. He is really, really struggling. Is Ratro White. Did he try and underfill that car in the hopes of popping out ahead of everyone around him? Perhaps, and now he's got some fuel saving to do on the run of the line. A little bit of an onboard look, some engine notes. No, carried the throttle pedal all the way to the braking zone at turn 4. Gilliam's got a nice pointy car to work with.
Putting the pressure on. These Lobs boys are pretty keen to take a sweep of the podium. 1, 2, 3. And Gilliam just harassing the back of Zach Rattray White. You feel that the pace that he's got on board, you think it's only a matter of time, isn't it? Like, just that little bit of advantage through turn 8. He's not going to be close enough to dive up the inside here. He'll just be smart about it. Put the nose there. Oh, put the bumper to him. Just ruffle his feathers a little bit, just letting him know that he's right there. Oh, another bump. That's Braille for I'm a little bit faster and I want to get past.
I think it's a little bit more than that. Rattray White's feeling a little bit vulnerable at the moment at the final corner. Now Griffin Garner's brought into the equation and teammate Damon Woods. So it's an eclipse sandwich. Now, Andrew Gilliam, are you the meat? Or is that Griffin Gardner in this one? Who's the salad? Who's the meat? Who is the sauce? As they fire through the chicane once more. Now here comes the dive bomb, and Rattray White locks them up, slides the rear into the corner. They'll go to the staircase. If Gilliam can hang on the outside, he'll be okay. In the marbles, Griffin Gardner picks up a piece of the action, grabs one spot. Gill will fire it in deep. They will crawl all over each other. Now Damon Woods is in the picture. 4-way battle, 3rd spot, final podium of the championship. They all get into each other down at turn 7. Rattray White skips clear. Gilliam's got back to where he was, and Damon Woods the only driver to gain a spot in the whole ordeal.
Well, Woods had to give that position back because I think he knew that if he'd had gone on with it, he knew that he would have been in the spotlight from the stewards because he touched the back of Gilliam, and that was probably going to be a drama for him. So he got back out of the throttle. Oh, more! He's just in the marbles. Oh, almost made contact with the wall, but he knew the stewards would be all over him. So Ethan Griggold giving up a couple more spots.
10 to go. Just a bit more than that. 12. Final night of the year. Final time to ask. And everyone is enjoying Adelaide. Everyone's got the blood pumping. Everyone's got the elbows out. The bundles at turn 1 have had a couple of times that they've been clouded here tonight. They've made history. Griffin Gardner's going to jump on the radio. Stewards are investigating the contact between our lead group. And this little battle is queuing up to explode as well. If you look away now, you're going to miss probably some of the better racing. And the best part is it mightn't mean all that much this year. But think about it, if this is our first taste of Adelaide, we go down to a decider next year. Oh boy, this is going to be great.
Yes, please. Yeah, we've already seen great racing action, and we expected it, didn't we? We know that this place has definitely got the history, and it's always put on great racing in the real world, and I expect nothing less in the virtual world as well. What a night.
There's the TCR car just ahead here, I believe that. So it's Ethan Greg Gultz, Madison down. So Maloney's got clear at the front of the pack, and he's jumped away. Down gets to the inside of Bowler, and Bowler just lets it happen. That's smart.
Yeah. Well, if he had afforded it, he'd be out on the marbles, and we've already seen how many. You touch those marbles, and you can give up 2, maybe 3 spots, depending on how many cars are around you. So absolutely brutal, the build-up, and they'll be thanking the Lord that there's only 11 laps to go, because this track is just getting dirtier and dirtier as the race goes on.
10 laps to go. Ian Ford just pit for a fresh set of tyres. I have a sneaking suspicion that car 115 might be trying to set the fastest lap of the race in his final appearance in the series. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, absolutely.
A bit of fun with it. Doesn't matter. You're not out there for points. May as well leave a lasting mark on the sim racing sphere. In Australia, and that is Dylan Rudd looking at the rear end of Wayne Burke. And by the way, Rudd actually undercut everyone in this pack by a reasonable margin as well. He should have Ailing rubber. But at the moment, he's brought that car back to life. So the lighter fuel loads on board the Chiefs Esports machine, working quite well.
And that battle that we were watching before with Zach Ratcho-White and Andrew Gilliam, that they've still got a bit of space between them now. Zach Ratcho-White has got a decent bit of breathing room now back to Gilliam. So I don't know if Gilliam's got any more pace left in that, if something's happened, whether it's just sort of it's broken him a little bit, whether he's got enough that he can catch back to the Zach to the back of Zach. But we'll find out over the next 10 laps.
Final couple of laps on this one. 9 to go at the moment. It'll be 8 next time past the start-finish line. We're in for about 24 Ks or so and change of racing in 2025. In a year when we got the Gen 3 car, they did it away with those fancy adjustable roll bars in the middle of the thing. You got to have a better, more balanced set. Not just find something you can tinker with the bars with and see what you'll have throughout the race. No, you've got to have a great package from the drop of the green flag or you are going to be in trouble. We've had a little bit of rain. We've also had a lot of rain running away from us in fear of what these drivers would be capable of. It has been a phenomenal celebration of the supercar and what racing is possible for the Logitech Pro V8 Supercars Series. Jared Filsell's going to be crowned champion, but everyone here tonight has a red-hot go at this one. The best part, and what I'm wetting my lips about, is 2026. There's a bit of a mechanical advantage for the Lobs Esports guys at the start of the year. That gap has closed as the year's gone on. Everyone's finally found their pace and their feet on board this Gen 3 chassis. And there's retirements coming, there's team swaps coming. 2026 is shaping up as a season to remember.
Oh, that's marvellous again. We've been blessed in 2025. This season has been incredible. Like you said, we've had the Gen 3. We've had the introduction to rain in the supercars. We've been blessed with a couple of brand new Australian racetracks. I mean, I don't know how much more better it could get when you look back on this year. It's been so many variables, and I guess now we all start saying, well, I wonder if we might get the Toyota Supra one day, just so that can join the fold, because obviously that joins the main game in the real world next year. But, you know, how long do we have to wait for that? If it makes it into the iRacing service, only time will tell. But we've been blessed.
How good? Oh, no. Andrew Gilliam picks up a penalty for contact with car 93. So put a line through him for podium contention.
Ooh.
What about moment of the year? I tell you what, I go all the way back to Detroit Belle Isle, or other street circuit. How good was the clash between the two monster teams that we've had over the last couple of years? One of them on fuel save duty, the other one all-out aggression.
Yeah. And at that time, Jared Filsell had won everything. And I think that might have been the first event where he didn't come away with a win. So that was a bit of a table turner, wasn't it?
That was great, the qualifying series. The racing there and some of the strategies. How about the safety car back at Fuji in the qualifying series? All the way back in February at the start of the year, where some guys could just make it, but it took a lot of saving. And literally, both strategies were perfectly set up. It was, if you nailed the overtaking, you were slightly better on the take the extra pit stop strategy. But if you were a fraction slow, fuel saving, and taking out an extra pit stop was better. How about the live points to finish this one off? Damon Woods in his first night in the first year in the series. P3 at the end of this one because Josh Anderson's not had the Adelaide to remember.
Had a shocker. Yeah, we saw his dramas that he had early on. And unfortunately, that's going to cost him. Well, he had a shot at a possible P2. But the night that Zach Ratcho-White's had, you know, obviously P3 at the moment, it would have been a tall order, but at the end of the day, he's dropped from P3 to P4 in the championship. So a night to forget, I think, for Josh Anderson. But a lot to take away from this season. I know he's been hard on himself, but he had an absolute cracker of a season and then had some drama mid-year, but bounced back. And to be, you know, battling in the top 3 into the final round, that's nothing to sniff your nose at. Great goal. Oh, is he going to get 2 spots here?
Oh, he's going to get into him. Into both of them.
Drama. Oh, that was a big ask. It's hard enough to make 1 spot. When he went for that 2nd spot, you knew it was all going to come undone. And unfortunately, there has been chaos at turn 9.
Well, it's not done yet.
Here we go. Up the inside, OGG replay. He's gone a little bit too hot. He's pitched that brake, and unfortunately, it's all turned to custard.
Was that Madison Down that just picked off 3 spots? I reckon it was.
Might have been.
Yeah, he's now ahead of Dylan Rudd.
11.
Yeah, he picked off 3 spots as a result of that. Thanks, boys.
Yeah. I think Madison was almost outside of the top 20 at one stage. He was having an absolute shocker. So here we go. We're right on board. Feathering the throttle through turn 8.
We tried to pick up.
Here we go. He sees what's happening in front of him. He's gone, oh, thank you very much, boys. I'll take 3 spots.
Do you hear him? It wasn't a feather. That was a full-on crack. He got into turn 8, and it was not compliant. The car was not settled and not working his way. He fully had to come out of that throttle and have another go at it. Right. I actually wonder if our producer... I was just about to say the lead-in from everything that I was working towards was, by the way, if you want to have a crack at qualifying, I think it's worthwhile getting this one out there now, because details have already started emerging for season 2026 and the qualifying series. Pre-qualifying kicks off from Wednesday the 14th of January right through to Saturday the 17th of January. 2 Australian tracks will be what's required. This is Hot Lap Central. It's qualifying laps only from Oran Park and Winton. Servers will be up every one of those days throughout that period. And there'll be 2 tracks, combined times. The best combined times will make their way through. Then the qualifying series kicks off a little bit earlier than it ever has before in 2026. We'll have our first qualifying round in January. And I tell you what, I think the second one's also in January as well, because it'll be Wednesday the 28th. We've never had 2 qualifying rounds for this series in January before. The whole qualifying series will be run and done by the 11th of February. Mosport, Hockenheim, Imola, and the Red Bull Ring. Mosport created a huge amount of drama when Hobbo locked it up on the marbles. The first time we really got a taste of the marbles was when Hobbo locked it up late on in the piece and had to go the long way. Emily Jones auto-qualified that night. The championship kicks off at our cultural starter, Sebring International Raceway. Made way for one of the best starts to a championship season in 2024. This year was a lot more tame. But what has it got for us in 2026? If you want to be there, that is your path to being part of the Logitech V8 Pro Invitational for 2026. You've got to make it through the gauntlet. 20 drivers qualify their way back in. 25 spots are on offer. And if you don't qualify in, if you're one of the first guys who misses out, there's always wild cards throughout the series as drivers do have to give up their seat in the championship. Something happens, they can no longer race. The sim carks it and they can't actually afford to keep the thing running. They will be able to make their way through. Or, as I've just seen Tom Freer drop into the YouTube chat as well. In Tom Freer's case, his pedals carked at the qualifying series and he should have been a part of this one, and he is not. Be interesting to see if he has a crack in 2026. And update to Ethan Grieger. After that audacious move, he has picked himself up a black flag. Final notes of the season, Sam, man. 12 Ks. We're under 16 Ks. Jared Philsell again leads on. How close is Luke Rosnella?
Ethan Grieger. Did I just see drive-through penalty?
Yeah, drive-through penalty. Yep.
Oh, yep. So, mate, it's been an absolute cracker of a season. It's been dominance from this team, but Jared in general too. Like he's been extraordinarily quick. Like we said, the introduction with the Gen 3 car, he's taken it like a duck to water. I know there's a lot of things that happen in the background, and that team has really come out firing, but it's been an incredible season for Jared, and yeah, he's not too keen to carry the number 1 into next season, but that's for them to debate. I know we were talking that, yeah, Bush was pretty keen to have him to have number 1, but he doesn't want it, so it'll be interesting to see, but regardless of what happens, he's still going to be our series champion, and it's been a cracker of a season, and yeah, no doubt next year is just going to be bigger and better. Yeah, the Logitech series just does get bigger and better each and every year, and already can't wait for the qualifying series to kick off.
Right, here we go. Griffin Gardner's run down Damon Woods in the back end of this stint. Two of the younger guys in the series going at each other. Damon Woods, of course, the Gamesman GT Pro champion in 2025. I can tell you as well, there's talking about what other categories we'll have. It won't just be V8 supercars next year. There is more coming. So the roster of racing will continue to expand in 2026. There'll be support categories for this series. What is on offer in the final moments of this one as these boys go back out at Brady Myers is still trying to cut his way back through. Adam Briggs, all he needs to do to punch his ticket to 2026 is finish this one. That's not a bad idea. Jump out of the way. There is no point in taking risks. Hope someone's told Wayne Burke as well that his ticket will be all but punched for next year, regardless of some of the contacts he's had tonight. Again, just make the checkered flag. I was definitely worried. How stressed would you have been trying to feed into turn one, lap one? Thinking, yeah, I've got it all but secured. I just have to make sure this engine makes it to the end.
Yeah, and from what we've already seen tonight, it's been so easy to get involved in someone else's incident. So you can do everything right, and yeah, it can be absolute chaos for you. But thankfully they survived. And believe it or not, it's the last lap of 2025.
2025, V8 Supercars and the Gen 3. We've already walked you through the trip down memory lane of the season that was. We're right on board with the man who won it at Bathurst. He's had just about the perfect season. He is utterly dominated. It all kicked off with the first race of the year. They've led from the front, Lobs Esports. It's been not only Jared Filsell, it's been Andrew Gilliam. Luke Rosella's found really good speed, not just in this race late on, but in the season in general. He is starting to get a lot closer to the front, and his best qualifying the performance of the year puts him there. But the problem is, you've got to get past this man. Car 94 has been supreme in 2025, and with a couple corners left to go, it's been about celebrating the year that was, the new car, the new chassis, the new circuit, the new tyres. Rain made its appearance, and with all of that, he's kept a cool head. He's led from the front, and he's just about dominated the championship. Ladies and gentlemen, after a win at Bathurst, he confirmed it. Tonight, it's about spraying the champagne. Car 94, Jared Filsell, big props to you, buddy. Champion in 2025. Rosella will come home second. And that is about 226 kilometres around Adelaide. Rattray White gets on the podium for the second time in the year as well.
Oh, it's not over as they come out of turn number 8. It's to dive up the inside. Is he going to get the job done here? Oh, he does. Marbles again playing the effect. But Brady Myers picks off another one as he takes his run to the checkered flag. What an absolute cracker that Adelaide's been tonight. Absolutely blessed to have it on the schedule, and I can't wait to see it back in action next year.
Final corner for this group of cars as well. Dylan Rubb deserves props for this drive. Went for the undercut. He's had to hang on to the tyres late on and in the piece. He'll bring that car home nicely placed as well, just outside the top 10 in 12th. So he'll enjoy that one. Brady Myers home in 12th from, sorry, my apologies. Brady Myers home in 13th from 14th place bowler. Adam Briggs punches his ticket to 2026 with 15th on the board. He'll be over the moon with that one. Wayne Burke will do the same in 19th for him. Andre Yusuf, by the way, best result of the season, finishes with a top 10. He will be very over the moon with that one. He actually qualifies back into 2026 as well. Kurt Stenberg, my friend, look, somebody get the police on the phone. They might have a ticket to hand out around the streets of Adelaide. That is a man on his phone while circulating around the streets of Adelaide. and confirmation of the final results of the season. I believe there's going to be a fair few tyres that get absolutely burnt down at the back end of this one. Jared Filsell makes it another race of 12 rounds. 13 races on the championship as well this season. Not 12. We had the doubleheader. Actually, I think it was 14 because we had 2 of them on the season. From Luke Rosella, Zach Rattray-White will get home in 3rd spot. Andrew Gilliam picks up a 5-second penalty. That will drop him in behind Griffin Gardner. So Woods and Gardner will both move up a spot to 4th and 5th respectively. Gilliam home in 6th. Tyson Broad will be over the moon with that one. Season best performance and career best performance for car number 27 in 7th. Dylan O'Shea, reasonable drive to the end of things, although he was in trouble with the stewards for serving a slowdown penalty. No penalty applied, and he'll come home in 8th spot as a result. Jake Maloney got unleashed at the back end of that race with the opportunity to bolt some fresh tyres on and go attacking. And Andre Youssef home inside of the top 10. Finished 13th back at Bathurst. This becomes his new best result in the championship. Outside of the top 10, Madison Down will be looking back at the season that was and also saying this was actually probably a year where I could take a few breaths and focus on life and things that happened. A lot of things happened for him away from the sim, including a Hall of Fame entry for car number 77. Dylan Rudd, his final time on board car number 1. He'll move back to his regularly scheduled number for 2026. Brady Myers from Matthew Bowler. Adam Briggs home in 15th spot, 72. Ryan Jones, actually not too bad. A lot of curb cuts by the way for car number 11. He'll be thinking what could have been on board that car if he'd managed to not fall afoul of the slowdown penalty. Brenton Hobson, this is the last time we see car number 88 and Brenton Hobson aboard that one. A lot of debate. That one not signed, sealed and delivered. You will not know until 2026. Jacob O'Reilly from Wayne Burke and Bo Albert to round out the 20. What will happen with Bo next year as well? Where is he off to? None of us know. Brian Borg to 21st spot for Brian Borg. I think that'd probably be a season high performance from him as well. Lachlan Capel, not the way he would have wanted to finish his Evolution Racing Team career. Ethan Grigg-Galt will actually pop back out in behind him after serving his penalty. Dylan Pereira and Kurt Stenberg, the final 2 drivers on the lead lap. Josh Anderson and Damon Mulqueen finish 1 lap down. Hayden Veld and Jake Blackhall, both significantly damaged race cars, 2 laps down for those guys. Ian Ford kept circulating through pit lane. I kept an eye on him. I think he was just coming through to use up an allocation of tyres. 6 laps down for him. Unfortunately, I believe from here on out, we might get into the retirements. There might just be enough laps completed for Sean McNamara to make this his final completed race in the series history as a main game driver. We bid adieu to car number 951 from there. James Scott, 19 laps down, parks it up for the evening, as does Jack Wittes at 21 down. Sebastian Varndell not making the halfway point for him. And Glenn Postlethwaite, 43 laps down as well. Jordan Ross and Brady Baldwin, remember what went on for them all those laps ago. Chris Ireland elected not to take the start of the race after his PC was having dramas all the way back in, effectively not firing on all cylinders for him. But time, ladies and gentlemen, we talked to him previously as a champion-elect. Now's the opportunity to chat to our winner as our champion on his way here. And it's going to be driver of car number 94. And Jared Filsell's on his way into the commentary box. Mate, congratulations. Signed, sealed and delivered. Just about all missions accomplished. That is one of the most dominant performances across the scene, I think, a series I've ever seen. And when you look back on the series that was, mate, are you satisfied with the performances? Do you think there was more left out there at certain points throughout the season? And finally, how good was the burnout?
Oh yeah, saving a bit of fuel to do one. I've been finishing races with no fuel lately, so it's nice to finish with a few litres, so at least you can express yourself. But no, the season was executed very well as a team. A few little minor hiccups, but no, very, very strong pace from the team and myself. But yeah, there's a few that went missing, obviously, but that's racing.
Look back over the season that was and give me a grade, if you will. Obviously, very, very happy with the engineering and the work that's gone in behind the scenes. But, you know, like you said, there's a couple little bits and pieces there. And I know you judge yourself quite highly and harshly when those moments get away from you. But is it an A? Is it a B? Is it a B plus? Where do you leave that one standing?
Oh, it's got to be an A. you wrap up the championship with a round to go. I made a joke in the chat, Discord chat before. It's basically real life supercars Brock Feeney, but minus the controversy with the final system. So, yeah, no, it's been a great year. But yeah, as you said, there's a few that got away. Obviously, Belle Isle was a contentious one with the safety car and whatnot. Jerez as well. There was a little bit of racing in that, but you get them. You get that happening all the time.
Mate, and finally, there's obviously a lot of shout outs and a lot of support that goes up and down the pit lane. When this new car came out, there was a number of drivers behind the wheel that don't get their time in the limelight out there that have supported you guys to bring the best that you possibly can. And that started all the way back in December last year with first taste of the Gen 3.
Yeah, for sure. The team's worked, I wouldn't say overly hard. It's just been a little bit easier being able to tap into the curious mind of Brody Kostecki. There's a lot going on in that head, but very, very smart individual, knows what's happening, as well as Richie. Always has a little bit and bob to say, and obviously with his well-credentialed career can definitely help on a few other little scenarios, as well as Shane. He still chips in from America and whatnot and gives an opinion on strategy or vice versa. So yeah, it's an all-in team effort. Yeah, including all our sponsors as well. They're all fake except for Whitey's Pies. I'd like to shout them out. They're the best pies in Australia. So go down to Orange and grab some. And yeah, obviously all the boys in the background, Brad, Dino, Thomas, the golden ticket winner. So he'll be on the grid next year. And yeah, it's been a great year.
Mate, I was going to say, damn, are you sure you can't get me access to the Philly GPT setup bot? That would have been a real help to my Arsenal for next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been a few iterations of philosophy that have been flying around the shop. So yeah, I think we've hit the nail on the head compared to what we were running earlier in the year. So yeah, it's one of those things where you've got to evolve or you'd get overtaken and just left wondering what's happening. But no, we've always pushed the envelope in setup development and in our driving as well. There's always a little bit of both that you can improve on. So yeah, it's handy having Luke and Gilly hanging around. I definitely had to lean on Gilly's data tonight. He was absolutely demolishing me at a few corners, and yeah, we tuned that up and definitely helped me in qualifying in the race there.
Mate, congratulations on season 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 championship winner, Adelaide winner as well, to go with also the Endurance Cup. You cleaned up all the hardware at the back end of the season. Jared, congratulations.
Yep, thank you. Just like to give a quick shout out to Luke, both SA boys. So yeah, up the Adelaide locals. We got it done.
Mate, might have to invite him over for a nice bottle of wine after tonight, I reckon.
He's having a beer at the moment. I'm jealous.
Ladies and gentlemen, championship winner Jared Filson. Thanks as usual for your time, Joe.
Thank you.
We'll take one step down the podium where Steve and Sandman Clark has got a driver on board, car number 55, for a chat.
Yes, Luke, congratulations, mate. It's been a great season for Lobs and not a bad way to sign off for 2025, mate. P2 at Adelaide.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Well-earned beer, that's for sure. Bloody hell. It's definitely the hardest track on the sim at the moment. It's so hard to be consistent here because there's so many corners, so many corners that can, catch you out if you lapse concentration, which I actually did a couple times this race. But yeah, really, really happy. That's probably one of the best races I've driven this year.
It even looked like you were starting to close in on Jared there those last few laps. I don't know if he was just taking it easy or if you had the bit between your teeth, but that margin just started to close up a little bit.
Yeah, the track was obviously changing, every 3 to 5 laps of the marbles. So I felt like I was sort of getting used to it pretty well. Altering my lines. every few laps. So I think at the end, at the last stint, I was feeling really comfortable. He did mention that he was saving just a little bit of fuel to do that spectacular burnout at the end. So that's probably helped me. But yeah, just a really, really good effort. Just looking at the whole race, I really wanted to concentrate on minimising slowdowns at turn 2. I really wanted to go into lockdown mode and make no mistakes, which I did. I did make a couple of mistakes, like I said before, but yeah, I was really, really happy not to get a slowdown at turn 2. That's for sure.
Obviously, this track brand new for everyone. How were your thoughts and your prep coming into this one? Were you nervous? So obviously we're all familiar with the layout of the street circuit, but until you actually get behind the wheel and actually feel it in the sim, how were the nerves? Were you worried about what this round might do to you tonight?
Well, the joke around the around the community was I had a crack walk a couple of weeks ago before anyone else at the Real Life 500. But yeah, I was looking forward to this round ever since they announced that they're going to include it this year. I was really, really excited, and when it finally came out, I got up early, did some laps with a couple others, and that's when the prep started really. So I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was just really, really excited, and yeah, all the prep that I did counted at the end.
Right, well done. You should have given Jared a kick in the shins, maybe. Surely he could have at least given you this one. He's won enough this season, surely.
We all know Jared. He's a very competitive guy, so I don't think he was going to give a race win for free. But he's had an amazing season. I mean, but even Gilliam had an amazing season, and I've had a above average, I'd say, season. I've made a few mistakes in a few races this year, but I was really, really happy to cap off the season with a P2.
All right, mate. Well, before we go and let you finish that beer and maybe have a couple more, is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Well, Jared's done all the sponsors, so I'll just thank a few people. Obviously, Jared and Gilliam for all the hard work they've been doing this year. I really, lean on them, a lot of times to find that little tenth every now and then. So yeah, they've done an amazing job. Also want to thank Brody, Richie with their input on the setup. And I also want to thank Thomas and Dino for the spotting they've done this year, especially Thomas as well with co-driving with him. He's done an amazing job. And of course, also thanking Brad as well. He's lended a hand throughout the season.
All right. Well, cheers, Luke. Go and enjoy it. Congratulations, mate, and well done to yourself and the entire Lobs Esports team. You guys have done a cracking job this season. Looking forward to catching up with you in 2026.
Thanks, Sam, man.
There you go, Scotty. That's Luke, and I believe you're catching up now with our third place winner or third place finisher in Zach Rattray White.
Congratulations, Zach. Finally get another opportunity to park car number 17 up on the podium, mate. It's been a wild and woolly 2025, handling multiple different cars and things. I get the benefit, I get the feeling tonight when you walked into this one, it's just supercars tonight after Bathurst. You were just a man who was just called to all parts of the sim racing verse that week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, tonight was pretty tough. As Luke says, it's probably the hardest track on the sim at the moment, and kind of glad I got to finish this season on a bit of a high. Obviously, I was running second for a little bit, but I'm honestly not really surprised that Luke got past me. I was a bit of a bot in that last corner, so yeah, decent season. I'm happy with where we finished. I think I got second and Damo got third, I think, in the standings. So it's a good way to finish it. Yeah, but look, it's another learning year for me. Just getting used to everyone who races and the procedures and cars, tracks, all that stuff. So good to get a good result in a year like this.
Mate, I think one of the biggest things that the talking point at the end of tonight is just the fatigue level, managing it and staying focused, particularly through turn 1 and 2, because it's so easy to turn into nearly the better outcome is to turn in too late at turn 1. You don't want to turn in too early. You'd rather cop a slowdown, but you just get punished left and right if you make a tiny little mistake at the first couple of corners.
Yeah, especially for me, I was I've had a very long weekend, so I didn't get much prep for this round. And I'm looking at my little thermometer thing here, and it says that my room got up to 30.7 C, and bit of a sweat box. So I think brain fade was a bit of a factor for me. I was just towards the end of that race was not there. Like you said, the turn 1-2 complex is you got to hit it perfect every lap, otherwise you lose 3/10 or some BS like that. So yeah, I didn't want to destroy the car on the turn 1 tire bundle like some other people did. I saw there was a car taken off flight, and I don't think I got a single slowdown all race. So I'm pretty proud of that effort.
Mate, look, obviously, just challenging just to get to the back end of this one, but I think there's a huge number of highlights for you in terms of the season. Nearly added one more to the list. Big old dive bomb on Jared. You went for the undercut strategy, and it very, very nearly paid off. Talk us through that moment of diving it through turn 1 and just about pulling the car up.
Oh, it went in too hot, man. Bloody thought there was going to be more grip on the inside there. There was nothing. I just went straight. Didn't want to stop it. Didn't want to turn. Didn't want to do anything. So, as soon as I went in too hot and knew it was pretty much over, I was surprised at how quickly the slowdown actually cleared. That was the only slowdown I got the entire race, but I don't really want to count that. And then had a crack at him at turn 9, I think, and by then he was a bit too far. But I needed to try something because it probably wasn't going to get him on pace straight out, right? So I had to do something.
Would you look back at the year of 2025 and say, I'm actually really, really happy with that one? Like you said, second place in the championship, and you're still sitting there going, I'm taking notes, I'm learning. So, what's capable? Do you think you're capable of taking one more step in 2026?
I think we're capable of race wins here and there. It's obviously pretty hard to compare yourself to the likes of Jared because he just makes it look so easy. And everyone down the pit lane is working so bloody hard to try and catch up, but he just makes us look stupid. So I think we can try and challenge him. Obviously it's going to be hard, with all the resources he has with this car and the series and all that stuff. It's super hard to compete, but I think we got some decent data from this year. Learned some valuable lessons along the way, and I kind of just want to not just yet, but I kind of want to start next year right away.
Mate, finally, the floor is all yours to thank you, anyone that's made it possible for you this year.
Of course, all of the Eclipse guys and the Chiefs guys as well for working with us. That was super valuable to have an extra pair of hands on deck, as well as the VM guys. I've got to thank them as well. At the start of the year, they also helped out a lot. Damo, Griffin, Dylan Rudd, James Scott, all those guys put in so much effort to help me out as well. As well as Damo and Johnny Lutzer have their coaching businesses, 5-6M coaching, and Johnny Lutzer Drive Performance as well. So if you want to check that out, it'd be mega.
Mate, congratulations on second place in the championship, podium here tonight, and a very, very big 2025 onwards and upwards for 2026, brother.
Thank you.
Righto, that is it. We talked about 15 minutes ago about what's on offer in 2026. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just the start of it. I can tell you there's different formats of racing coming in 2026. Maybe it's got nothing to do with V8 supercars, though. No more details are on offer for us at this point in time. But what I can tell you about the V8 supercar series is that the dates are starting to come out. Pre-qualifying, it's hot lap time. If you are a hot lap bandit, this is your opportunity to get your way into the series and into the sim. Pre-qualifying kicks off from Wednesday, the 14th of January, all the way through to Saturday, the 17th of January. Oran Park and Winton, the two circuits. Combined times from both of those circuits will set our grid to try and challenge. The rest of the drivers will come from being invited back from this year. If they didn't qualify, get an automatic ticket, they have themselves a ticket into the qualifying series alongside of our best 20 drivers from the qualifying. When does the qualifying series kick off? Wednesday, the 21st of January. It'll be running every Wednesday through to the 11th of February. The 4 tracks that you need to be quick at and have the racecraft to do your very best: Mosport, Hockenheim, Imola, and the Red Bull Ring. Could a safety car at the wrong time throw a spanner in the works? Is pedal failure in a short, sharp championship the difference between being in and being in the bin? That's the qualifying series that will come to us from Wednesday, the 21st of January. Then it's on to the real thing. Wednesday, the 18th of March. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is an early birthday present for me. Couple days later, I'll be turning a few years older. Sebring International Raceway will set sail for Championship 2026, as it has always been. Last year, this gave us one of the all-time dramatic moments. Is it going to happen again in 2026? Sandman, that's what it looks like, mate. Is there any chance that we'll find you on the grid in 2026?
Definitely won't find me on the grid. I'm hoping that everyone will be happy to have me back in the commentary box. It's been an absolute cracking season. I'm excited. It's just been a brilliant series from the get-go to have partners like Logitech G, the Gamesman, OG Gear, Playseat, everyone at SimSpeed TV. I think it's just a brilliant series, and unfortunately, I'll never have the caliber of talent for these guys, but if I can take part in maybe being in the commentary box, then that excites me just that little bit more.
Well, on behalf of all the sponsors, on behalf of all the admins that make it possible, I say a big shout out to our race control team. Sandman's never joining those guys, so at least we better say a big shout out and a thank you to them. To the man sitting behind the cameras, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Kennedy. He is a big part in making this broadcast what it is. We would not be able to give you the live pictures that we currently do without the man that puts so much time and effort in. And I believe we've got one of our series admins in for a little bit of a chat. I believe Brenton O'Brien sits behind the scenes as well. Brenton, any final words at the end of 2025 and the championship that's been?
Well, you guys outlined it as you have brilliantly all season. And you've thanked all the right people, but no one's actually thanked you, both yourself and both Sandman as well and Jay. What you guys put together week in, week out for what our series, it just absolutely enhances what we are offering. And each week, when the race is on, the comments that we get back, the feedback we get is so positive. So thank you to both of you and to Jay behind the camera, a very worthy inductee, Hall of Fame, because of the things he's done, like tonight, first time at Adelaide, and the camera pack that he put together was outstanding. Thanks to all our sponsors, you covered all that. Thank you to all the drivers as well, officials, and the admin crew, Jordan, Hobbo, John Van Ree, Madison, and Sean McNamara and Dan Hall. Helps put all this together, and we're really looking forward to 2026. So yeah, just thanks to all, and bringing on Oran Park and Winton, and people are going to ask why we chose those tracks. There's no drafting there, so it's going to be genuine pace from those 2 tracks, and can't wait for the cars to be on the grid again come January the 21st for round 1 of the qualifying series. So thank you to all. Really looking forward to next year.
Mate, what can you tell us about what else is going on in 2026? Because we've heard whispers. We get the benefit of a little bit behind the scenes, but you're the man that actually tells us what we can and can't talk about, and I don't know what I can say.
Well, you've put me on the spot to the point where... yeah, you put me on the spot here. Look, yes, we well, first of all, we can confirm that the GT3 Enduro series is no longer running. That's being replaced with another series. We're in chats with partners at the moment. We've already got a naming rights sponsor for a new series which is coming up, and yes, there's been some deliberate leaks about that already. And just looking forward to we're trying to get a car manufacturer on board as well to put the name to the series, and looking forward to that. And we're also the dev series is coming back on a Tuesday night as well. It's very so that's very low key, and for all those drivers out there who do pro races, no, you don't qualify. So ASRG, Australian Sim Racing Group's had a really good 3 years, and I believe we've been very successful so far, and we're going to continue to expand. But we're also going to continue to expand through giving lots of other drivers opportunities, so that one day, they can do a a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year plan that one day they want to be in the Pro Series, and if that means they start the Dev Series come next year, well then absolutely we would highly recommend and love having them involved. No broadcast, nothing like that. It's going to be pretty raw, but we're going to have cars out there driving around in circles, and that's what it's all about. Have a bit of fun doing it. So, yeah, keep your eye on our socials, and there'll be some announcements very shortly. Looking forward to it.
So, mate, what I heard is that if you put another level of Dev Series, Sandman and I might just barely scrape in to qualify at the back of that field.
Oh,
well, Sam, if it's raining, Sandman's an absolute gun. So every race, every race will set it to pissing down with rain, and you can watch Sandman driving off in the distance. No, look, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's important that we develop new drivers because. What we want to do is create a clear path as to how people can eventually become a pro. So start at Dev Series, Vets, Scops, whatever they take, but then, hopefully work their way through other series where they might not want to, but hopefully their ambition one day would be in the Pro Series. Mate, so I know we run a good product. I'm confident we run a good product, and hopefully others can see that too.
There was one point in there that I just want to point out. Did you just say you might be able to make your way through the Pro Series from Vets? I think you've gone from the wrong angle.
No. Did I say make Pro Series?
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. Hey, well,
I'm just rough.
Sandman's a big name in Vets, so that's he's the bar. You know what I mean? He sets the bar.
I'm a big name down the back of the pack in split 3, buddy. That's all I got.
I didn't say where you finished. I just said you're a big name.
Thank you very much, Brenton. Much appreciated. And thank you to finally get some official word on what we can talk about too.
Really appreciate what you've done this year. Thanks, boys.
No problems. Thank you very much for having us. Ladies and gents, that is it. We are now signed, sealed, and delivered. Qualifying kicks off from the 14th of January. On behalf of myself, on behalf of Sandman, on behalf of Jay, the admin team, and most importantly, I want to say a big thank you to the drivers. They put on the show. They are the show. We don't do it without any of them. On behalf of Logitech, Gamesman, Playseat, and all the rest. Ladies and gents, thank you for your time. We will see you in 2026.
The human hand, the ultimate biomechanical tool. We design mice for the hands of the best. Hundreds of tests, thousands of metrics, refining every curve in every millimeter to provide breakthrough performance for every hand and every player. Introducing the Pro X Super Light 2 Compact. Designed with pros. Engineered to win.
We are gaming fanatics. Our goal has never been to just play games. We think it's much better to feel like you're actually in the game. This feeling is what drives us as we create world-class gaming chairs. Our one aim, give you a brand new gaming experience. Help you move in perfect sync with everything on screen. Make sure you're having a ton of fun. It took us decades to achieve this, and we're still not satisfied. Every day, we wake up to get better. We'll never stop designing the very best to help you be your best. When it's all said and done, our job's only done if you're in full flow and focused on your victory. May you win, and win big.
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Hi, my name's Courtney Prince, and last year I competed in Porsche Carrera Cup with BWT. Today I've been on the sims with the OG race gear. I love the new gloves. They're really breathable and awesome, so you don't get sweaty hands using your normal race gloves on the sim. The socks are also really good. You don't get sore feet on the sim. I also think in training they'll be really handy as well.